Buzz Live.
Buzz, buzz, babies.
Hey, buzz, babies. We're having some. We're going to talk through this. This is going to be the best intro. Trying to stream to StreamYard, and it's not letting me, you know. And so we're going to try this one more time. We're going to try to just get in here, and we're going to paste a little stream key. And we're going to save the little changes. Isn't this fun? Aren't you guys glad I'm back from vacation? Did you miss me? Did you miss these awkward introductions that, you know what? It's not letting me go live on. Oh, wait. Ha ha! There we go. Hi, everybody. Now we can do it. Now it feels right. Now it feels just, you know, we got to touch all the areas we can. And I don't know if you know, I'm in timeout on Facebook. I just didn't know if it would let me stream on Instagram because they're connected, but they're not. Anyway, hi. Let's get to some stuff because I have some amazing guests to bring in, super talented people that are, you know, doing a very important horror book right now that's being crowdfunded. And I'm so excited to talk about it. I'm so excited to see how all these, how all this. It's hard to do an anthology. There's a lot of moving parts to curate it, to get it all together. I love talking about that stuff, and I live vicariously through it. That way I don't ever have to do it, but I can kind of know what it's like. Anyway, all right, tonight's show, let's get ready to bring up some stuff. Tonight's show is brought to you by Michael Gecko Adams, who has a new series, Hero out from Keen Spot, to keep up with what he's got going on. And trust in the buzz, baby. You want to keep up with what he's got going on? Get on over to geckoadams.com. Sign up. It's free. He does a lot of cool videos. He's doing I think he's starting to do a new Viking thing. He's got some cool stuff going on. And he's just a real good dude. And you should check out his stuff and follow him. And if you're having trouble finding the book Hero for some reason your shop can't get it, you can get over to Keen Spot Shop. Snag yourself an issue or two. You can find that link in the description. And I'm just going to let you all know right now that every book we talk about tonight, you can find, well, we're talking about one book tonight. The book we talk about tonight, you can find in the description. There's a link that'll get you right to the Kickstarter page. And that way you can support indie comics. 'Cause what's better than supporting indie comics? Not a lot. You know, it comes close though. Negative Burn! We're working hard on this at work. There's crazy people on this anthology. The Who's Who. It's a historical comeback, a multiple award-winning anthology from Desperado Books. It's on Zoop. We're real close to getting funded. It would be amazing if you checked it out. If you check, I mean, just look at these covers. We got Sam Keith, we got Dan Panosian, got Joe Jusko. Is that Francesco Francavilla? Oh my goodness. Is my logo blocking Wando? I'm so sorry. Unfortunate placement of the Blake's Buzz logo. You should get over to the Zoop page, though. Check that out. And you can see all the covers in their glory. Finally, also, Blam and Glam is an amazing Kickstarter sci-fi dystopia. Richard Morgan is an amazing creator. He's a phenomenal painter and illustrator. This thing's coming back for its 13th issue, and it's going to be a huge campaign. And you go to the pre-launch page right now. You click a link. You can read the first issue for free. See if you're into it or not. I think that's pretty rad. You should check that out. Check that out too. All right, we did it. We can start bringing out people. You guys ready to talk comics and spooky shit and fuck ice? I'm ready. I'm so ready. Let's get him out of here. All right. First up, we got Jonathan La Mantia. We got Sean Aaaberg. We got Ricardo Acevedo and Phil Mucci, Kraig Rasmussen, and J.M. Brandt. What is up, fellas? How are we doing? You're on Blake's Buzz Live. Let's go. Good to see you. I feel like we should be running. All right.
Yeah. I am buzzing. Thank you very much.
Hello.
Do you have a gear higher than that, Blake?
No. I mentioned
Jonathan, you're muted. There you go.
I know. Please don't let me be the first one out. Please don't. Oh, fuck! Now I'm muted too. Not only do I not have the energy that Blake does, I also forgot to unmute myself. So,
hey, well, no, I'm not in an anthology or running an anthology. That's why I have the extra energy. I know.
Barely on both counts, and I'm definitely not on the second one.
Real quick before we get into all the comic talk we're going to be doing, we got some chatter. Can we get with the hot dogs? All right, you know what? Let's get with the hot dogs. I love hot dogs. My boss, Adam Freeman at Prana Direct Market Solutions, keeps reminding me that I'm probably going to die soon, and he's worried about it because he's like, who's going to do these Kickstarter campaigns? He's worried. I keep hearing I need to eat more fiber, right? So what's my answer? I found hot dog buns with fiber in them. Fuck the establishment, boys. I do what I want. All right. Anyway,
are they good?
I don't know. I haven't tried them yet. I heard if you toast them, they're tasty. I bought them.
I don't think that counts.
Blake's
yet,
mukbang.
You really started to sell them, and you're like, I got the workaround. Have you tried them yet? I have not.
I have not. If they're interested in sponsoring Blake's Buzz, we could talk, and I'll try. I'll start the show eating them. We'll see. Anyway, I don't even remember what the brand name is. I just know
fiber injected buns.
I think they're like the keto.
Wait a minute, you're not talking about celery, are you?
Yes.
It's just celery.
It's like ants on a log, but beef on a log.
Put a hot dog on.
The buns are made out of that Metamucil mushroom. You know, whatever they put in the capsules there, right?
Oh yeah. I've thought about trying that because I've heard that mushroom coffee shit's pretty intense.
Just a head of cauliflower and stick a hot dog in it.
God, you guys, you're getting me hyped.
Wait a minute. This is why you got banned from Facebook, right?
Yeah. We're gonna get in trouble.
This is about horror.
I know you wanted to talk about horror, not hate, but we're gonna spend 2 hours on hot dogs and what we're gonna put them in.
Well, I hate all your hot dog suggestions you've given me so far. The celery.
We can spend 2 more hours on
cauliflower action. Come on.
Exactly. This does qualify as horror. I want to make clear.
All right. Is it? Well, I just want to make sure I'm being inclusive here. Does anybody not like hot dogs on this panel? Because you can fucking go.
Is like or eat? I don't eat them anymore.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair point.
Oh yeah, because they supposedly kill you.
I have eaten a fair amount of hot dogs before I couldn't.
Yeah.
This scares me because I just turned 40. I guess not. It's in October, so I've been 40 for a little bit now. But it's I keep hearing that like they're like, you're 40 now. You got to start thinking about shit. And people are like, I can't do spicy food anymore. And you guys are like, I ate hot dogs all the time. Till I couldn't, and I'm like, God, what's happening?
I was 40 when I quit.
He's like, but Blake, enjoy your hot dogs while you can.
Yeah, right. That's the scary. Invite me for volume 2. I'll do the life without hot dog story.
Blake, I will draw your hot dog story.
Yes, sweet. Oh, you're gonna regret that.
Yes,
I will. We're giving like 110-page fucking hot dog OGN. Like, I've been dreaming of this.
My phone won't stop buzzing. Speaking of Blake's buzz.
Yeah. I know that we all tuned in to talk hot dogs. That's what Cole's excited. He says, hopefully we're talking hot dogs. What's up, Erica? Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you. Who else is in here? That one cute exotic. Oh, that's an adorable little water person. You missed the hot dog talk. Come on, dude. Jesus, I tried fan service. It didn't work. We won't ever do it again. At least James likes hot dogs. That's good. He was 40. I'll be 41 maybe. We'll see. Maybe I got a good year left. What do they say? It's like everyone's like 7 minutes. I think that's a challenge. And then because that's what a cigarette is too. They're like a cigarette 7 minutes off your life. Now a hot dog 7 minutes off your life. I just saw on Facebook, so you know it's true, that they just put deli ham in the same list as asbestos. Like, you can't put asbestos on a sandwich. I'm pretty sure. Anyway.
I mean, you can.
Anything works with mustard.
Yeah, it just if you got good mustard. Sausage Party 2 with the hot dog boys. I added boys, but that's for sausage party and it whatever. Hot dogs aren't even sausage, so that doesn't make sense. Anyway, that's
Oh, that's a different discussion.
You guys got me so worked up. My mouth is dry. We're talking about hot dogs and
more.
At least we didn't do is a hot dog a sandwich?
Well, we didn't until now.
Yeah, anything's a sandwich if you believe. That's my theory.
Thanks, editor-in-chief.
Exactly. Leave it to the editor.
So, speaking of the editor-in-chief, let's get into this real quick. We know it's a horror anthology, horror not hate. It's horror for a cause. Who wants to give us the con table pitch, followed by who's like how this? I want to know how this came together. Like I said, anthologies are so hard. There's so much work. You have to take on everybody's schedule, organize everything, and of course the cause behind this is beautiful. And as we said in the green room, like, Lord, do we need it, right? And so, but how'd this happen? Guys, who rallied y'all together?
The man himself,
JM.
JM.
Exactly.
Guilty.
There we go.
Right there.
Yeah.
Point.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, it's a shame we don't have two more, so we can do like a Brady Bunch thing.
Yeah, like
coordinate that.
I was looking at
I'm looking at you, Blake.
My
There we
brain-
go.
Look at him.
Oh, okay.
There it goes.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm to blame. Things suck. Things have sucked for a long time. Things have sucked for like as long as we've been a country and longer, right? But things have gotten progressively worse. And thanks to November, things got dramatically worse in a very short period of time. And I was disgustipated with everything. And my wife was sick of hearing me complain. So being the ADHD weirdo that I am, I was like, well, I don't want to protest, but I want to raise money. And the only way I can do it is by like throwing something creative together. And so I held myself accountable by posting on Instagram. And then I just started reaching out to people. And luckily, people heard my call. And even though I'm virtually a nobody, I guess everybody understood that I was passionate about it, passionate enough to take on the burden of wrangling all these cats, and came along for the ride.
Sounds like you had to avoid spiraling out. That's a dual reference. I'm the best YouTuber in the world. I'm sorry.
I'm glad someone picked up on the tool thing.
So you're stressed and you're stressed and you're scared and with the with some encouragement from the people you love most behind you, right? You decide to try and use that energy for good and put yourself in another stressful scenario, right? Like, is it?
Yeah.
What's it like? Kind of like abating one stress with another. Does it? I'm curious about burnout because this is something.
Oh, I deal with burnout constantly, and I mean, not to make this all about me, but I've recently been dealing with a chronic nerve condition and pain condition that has gotten really bad over the same period of time that I've been working on the book. So burnout's fucking real. I'm unavailable for a couple days at a time here and there because I have to get so stoned to kill the pain that I just can't talk to anybody and make sense. So it's real. I was in bed at 8:30 the last 2 nights because I was so burnt out. So yeah, it happens. But I'd rather be burnt out putting together something good that people are excited about and passionate about that could actually make a difference. we haven't talked about what it's benefiting. We're benefiting immigrant and LGBTQIA plus rights. So, you know, if that weren't so important to me, this would be too overwhelming. But also, it's a lot nicer to distract myself with the stresses of this as opposed to the stresses of the news and doom scrolling.
No,
Yeah.
feeding the muse with what's happening, you know, and like you and I spoke early on about this at the beginning of the year before you even came up with this specific idea. We were like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do as artists, as creative people? Because it feels like, I mean, that's how you and I met. We have similar themes in a lot of our writing and a lot of our comics about kind of acceptance, and we have LGBTQ characters. We have we have kind of stories about like the way the world should sort of be and the forces of like fascism or racism and stuff. We have that naturally in a lot of our stuff anyway, and I think everybody here probably would agree that they do too. And it's not like because that was our like big thing that we stood on. It's just like what we were interested in talking about. So when you approached me about it, I was like, yeah, but you haven't done a book yet on your own. Like I've self-published a couple comics now, and I'm like, so that's how I kind of got involved with the project, was to be like, JM's the editor-in-chief and the curator, and he puts together the front end. And then I'm putting together the back end of the design of the book and the layout and helping with any little design things that need to happen. Or we did the logo, the Slow Feet logo together. And that's how I figured I could help, because I have that experience, you know, doing those things, and have designed several books now on my own. So it's like that was a really great sort of moment where it was like, okay, this is what I'm going to put my energy into to help on this front. You know what I mean? Besides what we normally would all do anyway.
Always
So, yeah,
good to have a designer in your back pocket. It's like
Phil's been
makes
instrumental.
Everything insanely easier when you have like a clear contact like route that's like always unobstructed, right? You know, like, I mean, unless if one of you's like in bed and like you know, is in pain or whatever, but like if you're just easily like able to get in touch. I miss my old job. Like I don't miss a lot about my old job, but I miss working with the design team, like my guys on the design team. And it was just like, I would pitch shit to clients, right? And I'd be like, what would you like? This would be kind of cool, right? They would be like, yeah. And then I would go to the design team and be like, so you guys want to like make this? And they were like, I hate you. And like, and so, but we would happen and we would make it work, right? And just a lot of, so much of what we do, like in making these books, no one realizes like, you know, yeah, you need art, you need lettering. The letters are great designers too, though, right? And but you know, there's this whole production aspect, and you know, in an anthology like this, you have production on. It's essentially like a several production teams on tinier projects. I'm just trying to freak JM out. I'm just like,
no. You're just saying everything that's been bouncing around my head for. It's all true. It's all true. I mean, you know, luckily I have a ton of amazing contributors, and honestly, everybody in their own way has pulled more than their own weight. Like all the contributors aren't just contributing the lettering or the writing or, you know, an illustration. I have so many people that are helping me with their perspective, their experience, or
Jonathan
just
did a cover and the title.
Jonathan designed the main Horror Not Hate logo. And I didn't have any help for any of this. I jumped with 2 feet in and a blindfold on. Like I just had no idea what the fuck I was doing, and everybody's come to bat. You know, Sean is on top of illustrating, donating copies of his board game, tabletop role-playing game, Dungeon Degenerates.
That's the board game.
Oh, that's the board game. Oh, okay. All right. Good. Yeah. So, I have artists. Matt Sticker gave us magic cards that sold out right away. That you're scrolling over right now. And Ricardo Acevedo also gave us artist proof magic cards.
Wow.
Everybody's pitching in great ways, or at the very least letting me vent. And so everybody has been super helpful on top of being talented.
Now with something like this, and when you're dealing with a passionate subject and a passionate and a good cause, right? And you're fighting for something. You're fighting for this book to get made, but this book's going to do stuff, right? If it gets made. You mentioned like you reached out to a lot of these people on your own, kind of like piecing together what you wanted. I would think a lot, maybe busy people may be like, oh, I'll find time for this, right? Did too many people say yes, or did it become like bigger than you thought it was going to be, and you guys kind of like let it ride, like, or how did you control submissions?
Well, I guess I have to answer that one.
Oh shit!
I got this, JM. No problem. Hold on.
Let people know how many people I reached out to.
1 million. 1 million.
Close. I probably reached out to a total of like 500 or 600 people. For the project, and I walked away with 100 people. I don't want anybody to feel as though they were like the D plan or the E plan. I've been a fan of Jonathan's for years and following their account for years and reposting stuff. Sean, I bought Goblinko stuff ages ago. You're punk as fuck and a legend, and I'm super honored to have you there. Kraig, I was in love with his artwork from the moment that I saw him at a convention before he knew who I was. Phil, I was backing his Kickstarter for his first book. I kind of stalked him because I was very interested in meeting the man and talking to him because I knew he and I would hit it off. And Ricardo has become very, very, very quickly somebody that I can have really good conversations with and bounce some ideas off of. He is actually the only writer to have submitted during my open call. I put out an open call. I got a lot of artists. I got one writer, and I said, I'm gonna take that writer. Luckily, he turned out to be really fucking good, and also a fellow West San Fernando Valley native. So we have that to bond over too. Mm-hmm. So, I reached out to a lot of people because I had a lot of people on my wish list. And at first we had too many artists, not enough writers. Then we had too many writers, not enough artists, and I would keep trying to balance the scales that way. And eventually I had so many cool artists that I wanted to work with that I added an art gallery. And what was going to be like a couple pinups turned into 50 pages.
Whoa.
Pinups. So, there's 50 illustrations, and these are artists that I've been following for years or reposting their work. And, it's like a dream come true. Like very, very, very few people that I really wanted here said no. A lot couldn't make it work. Some were afraid of the political messaging, even though they supported the cause. There's a million reasons, and there were quite a few people, even people close to me, that said yes and couldn't cross the finish line with me.
Well, I'm glad you found the. It seems like you got the right crew. And I just want to. I agree with everybody. JM's been talking too much, so we're gonna go around.
Yeah, please.
I'm just fucking with you, dude. I love you. James been on this show. Jay, I forget you were on my first clusterfuck of a Halloween special.
Yeah.
And I had Derek, my podcaster buddy Derek, on, who had just had a newborn baby, and like we were interviewing Cullen Bunn, and like I was like, it was like a big, I was like young I was old young podcaster, right? But like Cullen Bunn, it was a big deal for me. Like Cullen Bunn Halloween episode, I was like doing shit, and Derek had to keep like. He's recording on his cell phone, so he's like going outside. It's like live footage of him like smoking a cigarette, and then he like goes back in, and he's like taking care of his baby. And I was like, this is a clusterfuck. I was like, Cullen Bunn is never going to talk to me again. JM is never going to talk to me again. Anyway, it ended up being really fun, and we all watched Pumpkinhead and talked about it. It was dope. So anyway, I've known JM for a long time, but I haven't met all you. So we're gonna go around the room. I'm gonna start with Ricardo. Ricardo, what's the most interesting thing about you? Go.
I've been a mallet percussionist for about 11 years of my life. Actually, no, a little bit more than half my life. I play the marimba, vibraphone, and xylophone. And I really, really like them. And sometimes when I say that, they're like, what is that? What is that instrument? And so I have to show them a picture of it. And it's kind of the one that you have little like mallets and sticks of yarn on the end. But I've been playing that ever since I was in middle school. And I have a vibraphone at home that I like to noodle on every now and then. But yeah, it's very close to my heart.
Hell yeah. All right, well, that was fast. That was really cool, dude. Now fill me in on other creative aspects of Ricardo, but more. You're not like you're writing, storytelling, stuff like that. What's your background there?
So I actually got a degree in writing from my local university, but it wasn't until a friend of mine told me, because I wrote a short story for my capstone class called Bird Turd. Or namely, it was called Bird Shit back then, but Bird Turd has a better ring to it. You know, it rhymes. And he's like, this would be a really good comic. And my teacher also told me, like, you're a very visual storyteller. And I went, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to get into it. And so I, from there, literally Googled, like, how do I write a script? And this was like maybe 4 or 5 years ago. How do I write a script? What do they look like? What programs are best? And from like the ground up in a very DIY fashion, I was able to carve myself, you know, into where I am today as a comic creator. And I would not be here without the help of JM Brandt, as you know, as well as so many other comic creators that have helped me out. Brittany Matter is another big one. She's an editor at Marvel now.
Yeah.
A great mentor of mine. But I mainly just kind of write like any genre at all, you know, anything that really piques my interest. And horror has always been, you know, I've had a very soft spot for horror. You know, having grown up on watching a lot of films like Aliens with my dad, and, you know, a lot of like 1980s films like, you know, John Carpenter's The Thing. Love body horror. I love everything about that kind of, you know, the practical effects, everything used is phenomenal. And so when I had a chance to actually write a horror, you know, being a horror anthology, I jumped at the chance. And it looks like I was the only writer that jumped at the chance, you know.
That's crazy. Good for you. That's awesome. Yeah. I feel like, you know, this is a good project to be attached to, right? It's you know, people are noticing it, people are talking about it. It's you know, because it's one of the things I wanted to talk about tonight after we get through the introductions. We're already 30 minutes into the show. We're doing introductions. That's how we do things here. But it's silence is of course an option, but it's like not. Right? Like, you know, like a lot of times I want to tell people to like shut the fuck up, but now it's like open your fucking mouth and scream, like get mad, be passionate, like fight, you know. And it's, you know, and it's I don't know, sometimes it's like easy to say that sometimes, right? And harder to practice it. And you know, it's, you guys are practicing it, you know, like you can stand on picket lines, right? There's a lot of things that you can do, right? And I think this is an interesting way to protest and get your voice out. So anyway, Ricardo, it was for real. Quick on your feet. I can tell you're a good writer. So smart pickup, JM. Yeah. All right, who's gonna? Kraig, what's the most interesting thing about you? Go.
I do Tai Chi and martial arts every day to not go fucking crazy, because of deadlines or the state of the world. You pick. And I guess that would probably be the only interesting thing, because I don't have a life outside of making comics.
That's often the case, right? Because you like fall in love with it, and it's this hobby. And if you get lucky, the hobby becomes the job. And then when the hobby becomes the job, the job is all the time, and you don't notice it till it's bad. You know. And and
we're in this weird era of comics where the industry is in the weirdest place possible. So all of us are kind of stepping up to take part and speak out about that. And, you know, like Blake, you're, you know, connected to Adam Freeman, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. That like everybody's trying to make sense of this bizarre new landscape in comics. And now the United States itself is reflecting what's happening in comics. That's how I choose to see it.
Oh,
So-
that's a good metaphor.
Please.
God damn, that's a short. That could be a graphic novel, actually.
I mean, I have 25 more minutes if that's okay.
In this essay, Kraig, fill us in on Creative Kraig. This huge boulder that you carry around, the weight of 1,000 eternities. That is life of comic books. How'd this happen to you?
Interesting choice of words there. I'm very obsessed with world building, and social commentary. Sci-fi has always kind of been my main thing. Over the years, I've learned to see the social commentary everywhere. I love history, period, art, and film as well. I just recently did a fun Berserker cover that allowed me to really dive into pirates.
That one's awesome.
So that's one of those things that's a fringe benefit of the job, you know, and I use a lot of that kind of immersion tactic to try to get into individual projects, you know. And as far as the work that I've produced, I've self-published 6-ish books over the last 4 years, plus one before the pandemic, 2 before the pandemic. So I'm trying to haul along doing the self-publishing thing, but I'm also kind of enjoying dipping my toe into freelance and working with a few publishers here and there. And that's generally it. I have a lot of stuff in the hopper. It's kind of hard to pick one, but I do have another political project called Zen Patriot, which kind of gives you a clue as to how I feel about things in America and how they should go. We just need to chill the fuck out, you know?
Yeah.
So there's something pretty deep there for me. I'm still trying to figure out what the story is, but I love the statement, and I'm kind of working on putting the finish on those inks right now for a story there.
I have a question with like a background in like martial arts and having that kind of control like over your body. Does that make certain elements of like art easier? Like when you're drawing characters, when you're drawing the body, when you're drawing action scene, like do you pull from any of that muscle memory, stuff like that?
Yeah, a lot. And I love choreographing action. I'm actually doing a short story for myself right now on my break from freelance and other publishing gigs. And it's basically all wrapped around a fight scene. It's connected to one of my stories, but I just really wanted to do a fight scene, you know, right around November this year. I just really had a lot going on freelance wise and annoying deadline wise and things like that. So all of a sudden I was like, I want to play hooky and work on my own fucking thing. So that's kind of why I decided to choreograph a fight scene. And I've drawn from that for years. I mean, literally and figuratively, of course. But yeah, no, I did a dive roll while I was on a live with a friend the other day just to, you know, feel and kind of see how it happens when you actually do it so that I could go back and draw it on the desk. Luckily, I don't have downstairs neighbors. Anyway, did I answer the question?
Yes. I always thought that was like when I was like getting into comics because like I was into comics as a kid, and then like, you know, I got like drugs and girls and was in a band, right? And so I like got distracted from the comics, and my buddy like we kind of got me back in when they were starting to get a little more popular and the movies were being whispered about and stuff. And my buddy like showed me Alex Ross Justice, right? And I'd never seen like interiors painted like that. And I was like upset. I was like, oh shit, I got to read everything Alex Ross has ever worked on, right? So I started getting Alex Ross stuff and like the hardcovers and the back matter. And he would like take pictures of his friends and have them pose and stuff and draw. And it was just like, of course, like you would use human models, but like, you know, you don't think like that just these superheroes that get drawn, you know, it like that was like your neighbor that you asked to pose and so you could get the angle right, and that really blew my mind. And so yeah, that's very intriguing, and so the fact that you can use your own body in a sense, like both to draw and to models is pretty. That's dope, dude.
I really like the modeling part.
Living vicariously through like I'm out of shape. I'm wide. I eat a lot of hot dogs, right? You're not a hot dog eater in like fit, right? You're not. You know, it's when you're.
Yeah, Blake, but I fucking love cheese, dog. And I'll put it on a hot dog.
I love cheese on a hot dog. Are you kidding me? No, like gas station nacho. Oh, all right. Anyway, Phil Mucci, what's the most important thing? No, wait. Oh, fuck that. What's the most important thing about you? Let's switch it up. I fucked up. That's your fault now.
What's the most important thing about me?
Yeah,
No,
do you have
thanks.
kids? That's probably an easy
I'm alive.
Kids, you're right.
I'm still alive.
No,
That's the most important thing about me.
no, yeah. Was there a struggle? Was that almost not the case? Maybe.
No.
Okay.
I'm an entitled white guy who used to not be considered a white guy. I'm half Irish and half Italian.
Nice.
We made it to white, baby. That happened in my generation. My dad dealt with a lot of anti-Italian racism when he was young, but I never dealt with it. But that's not the most interesting or important thing about me. I think the most thrilling thing for a audience would be I made a lot of music videos. I was a photographer who did fashion and music. I shot a Ludacris album cover back in the day. And then I shot music videos when I came out to LA. I did some short films first, then I came out to LA and did some music videos for like Metallica, Disturbed, Korn, Stone Sour, a bunch of bands.
And if I may,
and I got
Phil is awesome at it. They are awesome. By the way.
High on Fire. I've done 2 of those. I did an Opeth one. And they were really psychedelic and trippy. And I started to just get hired just to do that directly by the bands. And after a while, the budgets got to 0. And then I was like, wow, I want to keep making crazy, weird shit. So I started writing more on my own because most of my videos were like stories. There wasn't dialogue. It was just the music as a soundtrack, but a story. And comics came from that. Like literally one of the characters that I started with, Professor Dario Bava, began as a character in a music video for a band called Huntress. It was a song called Sorrow. And if you watch Sorrow, you will see a knockoff of an Italian or Euro horror sleaze movie from the 70s with lots of colored gels and stuff, and a character, an Italian exorcist, pot-smoking exorcist named Professor Dario Bava, paranormal playboy. And we loved the character so much, I just kept writing him, Our DP on set was like, you can't kill off this character. We got to do more shit with this guy. So I started, making more, writing more stories. And I wanted to do a series, like a little animated series, like right when sort of like pay-per-view streaming on Vimeo was becoming a thing, and then it quickly became not a thing. But the idea was people would pay to just watch your shorts or whatever. Like YouTube, but the artist could make money. Yeah. And I wrote stuff for that, and nothing really came from it. I tried to raise money for it, but nobody was interested. So then I was like, okay, we'll just make a little animated teaser. We made a 2-minute teaser for it. Got some investors for that. And nothing happened after that either. So we made a graphic novel. And that was Murder Vibes from the Monster Dimension. And we kept going from there because it was like, it's better to make something and have it in hand than to wait for gatekeepers to tell you can or can't do things. And right. I was lucky enough to have people who were willing to get behind me on that, and great artists like Mike Dubish and Vicente Alcazar and Emmanuel Taglietti and Suspiria Vilches, lots of great artists I've gotten to work with. So now I've done like 7 books, if you count the individuals. We do them as double features, but yeah, that's kind of my long and short. I guess the music videos is the answer to the question, though. That's probably the single most interesting thing about me, although I don't think it is.
The chat says that you have now stolen Ricardo's the percussionist
the
is
crown.
Out.
Yeah.
Oh no, the percussionist has been beaten. Damn it! Oh,
we're not jousting, folks. We all love each other here.
Which Ludacris album?
Yeah, we
work on.
What Luda?
Chicken and Beer. The big fold-out Chicken and Beer album cover. I shot that, and I did the whole Photoshop montage and design for the album cover. Shot it in New York City.
That's so cool, dude.
On location. Although it looks very digital now because it kind of had to be to fit into a fold out like that. But who's typing like that? Stop, Kraig.
It's not me.
Curious, yeah.
All right. There's who's next? Sean Aaaberg! What's the most interesting thing about you, sir?
I decided I wanted to be an artist when I was like in second grade. So it was when I was 7, because my teacher showed me Jackson Pollock, like a informative book brochure or whatever, and also a one for Degas. And I was like, okay, sure. I guess he identified some problems with me or whatever. But then, so I did that for a long time. And then when I was 42, 43, I had a stroke, which totally made it so I couldn't draw anymore. So that's really fucked up. And then I had to like pivot entirely to writing, and like approach writing like I used to approach art, just in terms of taking classes or reading books, and just approaching it like craftsman, I guess.
Wow.
And that sound.
That's intense.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, it's a lot of people give up, right? It's you take. I mean, that's a hard defeat. That's hard to pick up. You picked yourself up, relearned shit while you're relearning and while your brain's healing. Dude, that's fucking phenomenal. What was that?
Insane.
Sum this up for me in an impossible minute or whatever, right?
Okay.
But like, what was that? What was that journey like? Were you? I mean, what was your support? What kind of support system did you have? Were you like, or were you like, I was alone in a room and I was writing through the pain. Like, I'm not trying to make light of your situation, but this is highly interesting.
It's nothing like that crazy. It was my wife and my kids and my dad and extended family and everything were really supportive. And my dad was actually in the hospital with me for a month when I was there for like 3 months. And my wife came there like every day when I was in there. And then, afterwards, like it took me like probably 2 years to be back on my feet again, as far as like gaining the willpower to actually do I put out my first art book a year after. But like to me, like to like gear up towards like a 50% instead of 25%. It took me a while to get back there, and like when I first got to the hospital, like for the first 2 years or so, I could only type on the keyboard for like 15 minutes at a time before I'd be tired out. So that was, I was like, is this what the whole future is going to be like, of me just like sitting down and like, can I do 15 minutes where I used to be able to like draw for 8 hours straight, or do whatever I used to work 16 hours a day. That's probably one of the reasons why I had a stroke, besides the hot dogs. But you did your own
No,
thing.
Sean, no, your story's done, Jonathan. No, I'm kidding. That was a joke. Please finish your story. That was a joke.
So yeah, like I guess I think part of what really helped me out is that I only viewed drawing as like one of my creative ventures or outputs or whatever, and like I was like, okay, so I can't do this one thing and I can't drum anymore. That's another fun thing, is I've been in a bunch of bands, but like, so I guess we have 3 music business people here, or some variety, but like I was like, I don't really view myself as an illustrator or a drummer or anything like besides just a creative doer. And so like I was like, okay, so I need to do something else besides the main thing that I've been working on, that I've been known for, and I think that there's some people like that want to have me be pigeonholed and do like I'm only an illustrator because that's what they know me for, or I'm only like there's a guy back in the day in the punk scene who's like, I just thought you were like a punk drummer, like just a generic punk drummer, and like he had no idea that I was an artist, and like it's just shit like that where people like have an idea about you, and I was like, for me, being able to have the idea of myself as more than one thing, like Maya Angelou, I contain multitudes. So it works out.
Dude, that's so cool. My dad had a stroke when he was younger, and it ended up like he lost some vision, like some vision issues, and it actually sucks because my dad used to like to read a lot, and since that he doesn't read much because his like eyes bother him. But yeah, it's and again, it's he kind of accepted that, and I don't know if that would have been something he pushed against like you did if he could have found a way to anyway. But it's so many people, man. It's like sometimes your body tells you that you're not going to do something, and then you tell your body what you're going to do, right? And that's that's pretty cool. That's why I'm going to keep fucking eating hot dogs anyway. No, dude, Sean, that's so amazing. All you guys, I'm so fucking boring. Anyway, all right, you guys all have like these really cool life stories. It's amazing. All right, last but not least, Blake. Jonathan La Mantia.
No.
What's
Blake,
the most interesting thing?
I don't want to follow that up. No, actually, I think that segues really well into I don't know how to talk about myself in any real short capacity. I have no short answers for anything. But the thing that Sean was talking about is like sort of one of the many aspects that I like to talk about, which is having chronic health stuff, which I have, is that like if you're creative and you've got drive to do anything, it's good to have the feeling that you can do other things other than the thing that you think you want to do, because you'll only be able to get to do that thing for a finite amount of time. You might be able to do that your entire life, but your life is finite. And so a lot of people don't get that privilege or ability in their lives. And I've had to shift career goals so many times. There, like I don't do like the 5-year plan or the even the 1-year plan. And because it's kind of bullshit for anybody that has health concerns. And I think that currently one of the interesting things about me is that I haven't gone into anything socially in the last 6 years because of COVID. And because of my health, I was able to edit a comic book last year for a young man that has cancer, that's dealt with cancer for 16 years, because I was able to really understand what he's going through and be available. That mostly because I'm always home, so I'm always available, and be able to help work with him with his ideas. It was through a charity organization that it's sort of similar to it's called Nick's Wish, and it's similar to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and they granted his wish to make a comic book, and so just because I have chronic illness and like get that it's really daunting, and so he was able to take his idea for a script and turn it into a comic over the course of the year, and it was really cool. And that was something that like and it coincided with this project too, so it was two things that were really about people who are very different things, but going through the stuff that they don't necessarily like, they wouldn't choose for themselves. Like he wouldn't have cancer if he could avoid it. Anybody who's affected by the Horror Not Hate anthology, they would not be in this fucking situation if they could avoid it. Everybody here would love to not be making this book and just be doing horror, just straight up horror, and not have the world be on fire and not have America be so fucking terrible to its citizens. But here we are. And that's kind of the thing of like being able to kind of step outside yourself and be, I don't know how to talk about myself in that kind of third person. Like I'm terrible at writing bios. I've identified as trans for the last 2 years, but I'm starting estrogen next month. I still look like I look, but it's things that, when you're going through this kind of period that we're going through, like we're all sort of gripping to the things that we have to hold on to. And what Sean dealt with, like, it's real important for us to recognize, like, we don't have just one thing. Like, comics can go away at any point. Like, the major comics distribution system could fall apart. Oh, wait. Like,
too soon.
No, but that's none of this shit is guaranteed or solid. Like, it's all about people just recognizing we are more than just one thing. Like, and absorbing that ourselves, like absorbing it for ourselves. Like, at any point, this is going to all go away. The reason that this book exists is because it's gone away. It's being taken away by a government, by an opposing force. And it's important to recognize, like, the people that we're trying to be aware of for this anthology, they don't get to think about themselves in those capacities. Like, what's the most important thing about them? It's like, well, they're actively being either murdered or incarcerated or deported. Like, none of this shit matters to them, and that's rough to sort of parse that out.
I can't imagine. By the way, the chat's chatting out. So, congratulations, and I agree. Like, that's the strength it has to take to like, with everything going on, to like go that route, and like, being yourself is the best, right? But this, with everything, it's also like scary and stressful and wonderful simultaneously.
It's not great timing.
Yeah, but also you gotta do it, right? Like, I mean, if you kind of got to think like that, like, I got to do it before I can't, or before I have to, like, go to what state is left that I can go to. Or
I think that's the thing, is that, like, also in regards to, like, health stuff, like, I've had so many health things that it wasn't until a couple of years ago that I really started, like, really thinking about that kind of thing. Because I think if, like, when, I've like ADHD, ADHD really, like, being able to just be so caught up in technical aspects of things, production of things, like, I'm big into systems and creativity, and then it's like, well, who are you really? And then it's like, oh no. And then it becomes a question of, like, well, who are you and who do you want to be? And when you're sick all the time, or a portion of the time, it's like, I don't get that ability to sort of just relax with my body in that capacity. It's, doctor's visits, that kind of shit. And it's tough to be disabled and try to know yourself in that kind of capacity. And there isn't one way to go about being anything. And so there's especially, being on the spectrum, it's a lot of, unless you have a like a specific example that, like, oh yeah, I relate to that. And when your body doesn't work the same as everybody else's, like, I don't relate to any of this. And being outside of, like, I've known Kraig for years. And when he came out, I was like, oh shit, I haven't seen Kraig in like 7 or 8 years. I met him at conventions when I was doing conventions, and I haven't been able to do conventions since the pandemic got going, and I can't risk doing that, because if the last, I can't risk that kind of impact that I won't be able to walk away from. So, but it is difficult to see that, and that's a privilege. That's such and it's like, it sucks to be like, I can't do that, but also no, I get to do that. I get to remove myself from these situations and be like, oh, I can't go out and I can't do these things, while other people who also have the same kind of health concerns and disabilities are delivering my food, like, and are getting deported and are getting beaten up, and it's like, what the fuck? And so the least I could do is to draw weird pictures and try to talk about it where, when I can. And yeah, it's bizarre. It's a real bizarre world that we have, because it's this is an amazing project, but I want people to feel like they could just throw money at these things without getting something, and that goes against the thing. I also want people to throw money at the Kickstarter, of course. But I think it's really tough to feel that lack of agency in general when we are looking at things and like, I don't have the ability to help. And it's like, no, you absolutely have the ability to help. You can follow the organizations that we're donating to. You can share their information. You can, there's so many other ways to support the people on the ground who are willing to put themselves in harm's way.
It reminds me, when I was my 5th grade teacher, Mrs. Breyer, she used to say, sharing is caring and caring is fun. And yeah, I do that with Kickstarter. I'm like, hey, because a lot of people don't know this, and I'll remind you. Yeah, Kickstarter is a little bit more expensive, right, than buying a book in a comic shop. But it's also, not everybody is on Amazon Prime and gets free shipping, right? So shipping is a deal that a lot of people deal with that you forget about sometimes. Anyway, but you can give $1, right, to a lot of campaigns, and as a tip. Okay. And you can give really any amount as a tip, but you can give, it starts at $1, and you may not, for a bigger campaign, that's a lot of dollars need to be given. But what that $1 does is it gets you into what's everybody's favorite horror term, the algorithm, and it gets you into the algorithm. Thank you.
No dollar donations. No. You can buy Jonathan's original art on the campaign.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. So I will also say that Kickstarter is one of the best places to get original art. But one of the best things that you can do if you don't have $1, if you don't have anything, is a share, a retweet, a comment on the post. Oh, this looks cool, right? That's free. It takes a second, and it's you'd be shocked. You'd be shocked at how many posts. I have thousands of followers if you add all my platforms together. It's way less now because X grossed me out finally, and I was like, man, it's
good for you.
It was dead, right? But it was still letting go over 7,000. Anyway, fuck it. But
it's hard.
It's
hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they have made it a lot easier lately.
Yeah, right. It's not like I was having great conversations.
It was really hard. It's really hard, and now I'm like. Now I stopped using it. Now I have to figure out how to just delete all my stuff. God, I don't want to spend a week just deleting every single tweet.
Yeah, I didn't.
No, there's an app.
I guess I should have, but
I know.
I didn't collect my tweets and make an AI Blake backup. I thought about it, but no, I'm just so anyway. But yeah, sharing for real, you would be shocked at how many, so I'm not the most popular person on the internet, but I do have an audience, and I post a lot of shit all over the place all day. But there's a lot of times where whether for a client or for doing at work, and you post it, and it's nothing, you know, and it's like shit, you know, and it's just like you know, if you see a post from a creator friend and they're talking, you share it, a heart and a retweet, you know. If it really looks cool, you know, a quote or a comment, these things, it helps a lot more. And you're scrolling past it, right? You're seeing it. Why not stop for a second and pause from the traumatic experience that you're gonna, you know, like whatever you scroll next, like it's probably not gonna be your buddy's cool art. It's probably gonna be something shitty, or like, you know what I always get hit with is I get in the dead dog algorithm, right? I miss you, and like the sad music, and then I'm fucking bawling, dude. I'm just like,
somebody shares a picture of their dog, and you're like, oh, that dog's really cute. Oh no, that dog just died.
Yeah, it's gone. No.
Oh, no. Right?
It's terrible. It's terrible. Anyway, so
if there's an algorithm, if there's an algo, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's I know exactly what he's talking about, because it's the most. I mean, there are levels to the most depressing thing right now, but it is one of the most depressing things. Because it's just every. A lot of people that I know have lost their animal, their family, their cats or dogs, and they'll just share this picture, and it's like, oh, this is really cute. Oh no. And it's just a carousel of their adorable family member that just passed away, and it's like, son of a bitch, this is, now I'm really sad. And then you keep seeing it, and now it's this Pavlovian response where every time you see a dog, you're like, oh no, is this dog dead?
Yeah.
It's like the black and white photos of like celebrities.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah. And you're just like, oh gosh, you know.
No! Oh wait, no, they're fine. They're just being dramatic in a period piece.
Actually, Adam Freeman shared one like 2 days ago for something he was recognized for, but they put his head in a circle and it looked like something.
Oh yeah, he got marketer of the year.
Yeah.
It, be. Yeah.
It made me sit up when I saw it in my feed though. The first time I was like,
what the fuck is that?
You get the chills.
I will remember Adam.
It did, because it had like the wreath kind of around it. Oh shit. Wow, we didn't think about that. That's funny. He hates that picture. It's like this black and white picture that keeps getting used, and he doesn't. He doesn't like it, and everybody at work keeps encouraging him to keep it in there. All right, I have a question about the anthology. To kind of, I love what no one tells you when you have 6 people, or how many are you? 7? I can't count. There's 7 of us total.
There's a gang of us.
But no, it's you know, as you've noticed, like everybody gets to talk a little bit, and then everybody's sitting there for a while. Like, I'm real glad I came here, but I love y'all. And but I have a question, because in this anthology, right? You're obviously trying to raise awareness, right, and funds, raise awareness and funds for both production and charity and causing, right? So like, when you're thinking about the storytelling, when you're pitching this stuff, right, and when you're accepting the story, or however this, you know, when you're thinking about what goes where, or what goes in it all, or this might be too heavy or whatever, you know, do you go like, it's obviously going to be a mixture, but I want to know how you guys think about it, because you do like regular horror, body horror, you try and like scare people, right, and you like, there's a blessing to that in a way, right, because you're not thinking about other trauma that you could be thinking about, right? But then it's obviously this anthology, and it's this theme, and it's this, we're getting beaten with this hatred daily, right, in numerous ways, and we can't hide from it. And so in a way, you also have to beat people over the head with it, right? But you have to be smart with it, and you have to do it in a narrative, and you have to do it, and you have to get people scared and build tension, you know, but thematic tension, not just like I'm scared to go outside tension, right? How are you handling that in these stories? And is it hard? Is it hard to go too far, right? Like, is it you know, like whether it's too far on a soapbox, or too hard on in a dialogue or in a scene, or it's too real? You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you all dealing with the subject matter? Kraig.
I thought I'd raise my hand just to make it easy.
That is smart, and I appreciate. You know, like, yes, and my 5th grade teacher,
Back
Mrs.
in class.
Breyer, would appreciate that as well.
None of my teachers did. Anyway, so to kind of give my overall answer, you know, one of the things about the pitch to me was the script in particular that I got just organically. I was very happy to be involved with this the second JM asked me about it. But once I read the script by Zach Zapman, it was so similar to what I went through with my own father that I was like, I have to draw this. I have to. If I don't draw this, I'm going to fucking regret it forever. But then there was a weird challenge of I can't make this character look like my father, and it just kept steering towards looking like my dad a little bit, and so I kept having to like tug it as far as I could away from looking like him, so that I didn't hurt myself making this story. And then I decided that I really wanted to pour my rage into every expression and movement the character made. So I added a couple of panels. I really leaned into his facial expressions and just the wrinkles on his face and his just eyes being angry as fuck as often as I could. And it eventually really helped me. And as far as too far, I realized I wasn't going remotely far enough, at least twice while I was working on it. I ended up redrawing a page because I was like, fuck this, I'm softballing this. I want to make this so haunting by the time you get to the end of 4 pages that you just walk away like, ugh, you know. That's because I'm like Jonathan. The body horror thing for me, if I'm gonna do horror, I prefer body horror because a lot of the other stuff is really hard to take seriously unless it's done perfectly. You know what I mean? And this for me was just the organic, you know, the organic elements of everything came together to make it a perfect opportunity.
I want to dive into something before we move on. I want to be able to talk. I can't. This idea of other notions of horror having to be done perfectly, but there's like a forgiveness in body horror, and then there's also, but body horror has to be like imperfect and disgusting and messy, kind of. But like, is that kind of your thought process?
No, it's more that I just personally, the over religious horror stuff, I don't care. It doesn't affect me. I don't have a religious sensibility, so there's no horror there. I mean, you know, ultimate evil maybe is a thing that horrifies me, but I don't have to put it in the guise of a devil. And body horror, it seems to me, it doesn't mean that body horror needs to be any less perfect, I think. But I think that I don't know, I've just seen a lot of like Cronenberg. They're not always necessarily perfect, but they are exactly what they are. And you feel like if any element is changed, then they're less perfect for that, even though like a film critic might look at it and go, well, it's got a lot of flaws. It doesn't, I don't know what it is. I'm not saying body horror is more forgiveness. There's definitely there's splatter horror splatter horror probably gets the most fucking forgiveness that there possibly is. Like, you know, slasher, torture, horror it's all over the place, you know. But for me, I have a hard time taking it seriously just because it seems to be very indulgent in that one specific thing. It's a one trick, and it's not very interesting after a while. Body horror, on the other hand, it seems to be endlessly interesting, you know. I mean, The Substance, fucking anything Cronenberg made, like I said, it's Cronenberg's son keeps just diving into stuff. The new Dave Franco, Alison Brie movie looks nuts. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm just like, I'm here for it because the body horror thing, like in the case of the Alison Brie Dave Franco movie, for instance, that's like touching on a relationship thing about when you're in an intimate relationship with somebody, and immediately makes it like, whoa. Or The Substance is all about cosmetics and beauty, and then you're like, I'm on board. I want to know what they have to say about this. So to me, it's a lot like sci-fi, where it's very easily message driven and not in an annoying way.
Nice. Did anyone do, because I didn't even think of this till you said something, but like religious horror in this anthology would be an interesting game to play. Did anybody take that turn in their narrative?
Yeah, so there is one story in particular that's sticking out to me. This was written by writer Ben Kahn, who is a GLAAD Award nominated comic writer, and it's called The Gun Made Flesh, and it's actually religious body horror wrapped around patriotism. And I really don't want to give too much away because I'm a brilliant coordinator of creative teams, and I'm patting myself on the back. I figured that Ben had a story that was so shocking that it couldn't be taken seriously, basically. And I had an artist, Alan Quirk, who had a very interesting cartoony style to him. And I just paired the two up, and what came out of it is just like religious, patriotic madness. It's like the blackest comedy you've ever seen. Yeah, actually, the character does look a little RoboCopy. At a certain
it has
point.
a great, a couple of great splash pages in that story too. It's sick. I haven't seen everything yet, so Kraig, if I don't compliment your work, no offense.
No, that's I love.
I mean, to be honest, this is one of the stories I've wanted to keep under wraps the most because it has such a shocking page turn for the finale that I have not wanted to share it. I mean, it's been really. I mean, I need to share it for the Kickstarter, and I've been lax on that for other reasons. But it's just like I'm afraid to share that until the book is out because I just really don't want to spoil it. I'm really proud of the page.
Let's not
when talking
it.
about
it's
algorithm stuff, it's whenever you're doing horror, it's like, if I share this, will people see anything else that I post?
Yeah. Well, hopefully it drives. Hopefully they figure out, hey, what if we take the algorithm thing and just drive it to more of your stuff instead of the same thing all the time? Anyway, hey, let's have a different podcast on that.
Yeah, that's that my family, my like other side of the family that we're not talking to. Like
I feel like a lot of families are like that.
No, yeah, but like, so I don't know. This was new to me. My sister like showed me my cousin Photoshop or chat. She like AI'd a picture of Jesus to her son, who's like who killed himself a few years ago, and like we were just like, what the fuck, And it's just it was like, okay, all right. So that's the horror of my family. So like a lot of my trauma is tied into like the church. We never not that part of the church, right? Like that we heard stuff, but like none of my friends like I was an ugly kid. I was safe. It's good. So like it was fine. But like there still weren't like I remember when like they used to have like the priest would be like, we got to leave the door open, and it was like, oh, that was weird. But like because of the news and stuff. But
right.
There weren't priests that I got. Anyway, we were supposedly around the good ones if there were any. I don't know, right? They were just like good at keeping secrets, probably. But whatever. So anyway, my family's very religious. So like also race the racism that stems from that, right? And it's which is fucking gnarly, right? And then like we got people with kids with fucking autism that are fucking watching the news like fucking and it's like what? Like it's your family. This is affecting people, so yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, that would be if I took a horror angle at it, it would be that. But that'd be hard. That's like there's a lot of scene building and probably dialogue and like stuff you got to work towards, and like what do you have in an anthology? You don't have space. You don't have. No. That's my one comic credit is a 2-page and in one of Travis Gibbs' anthologies that he does on Kickstarter, and I got to do Peter Pan was in it, which was cool. So I got to do this 2 pages, man, and it was like. Whoa, and it was so hard to script those 2 pages, and it's just like I kept like I had a flip notebook and I kept drawing out like squares and stick figures because I can't fucking draw, and I was freaking out, and I was like, I don't know how to do this, and finally.
But this is the thing is you're I mean, like I think a lot of that urge to create more with horror, you don't have like everything that you just said could be the root of a 2-page story, even a 1-page comic. Like everything that you just talked about, you could take one piece of and just develop a couple of panels and then have a punch at the end.
That's fine.
And that's all you need for horror is just a few things. It can just be 2 scenes. One thing. It's just a sentence. It doesn't need a
with
horror is like comedy.
Yeah, No, I mean, like, seriously, all of the stuff that you just said, it's all like horror is just trauma. All it is just trauma. It just depends on what.
It's a joke.
What?
Too.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's that. Like horror is
Set
trauma.
up, payoff.
Yeah, and so, but the only thing is just what part of the trauma are you looking at? Are you looking at it from the beginning, when it starts, at the middle, where it's going on, or the end? And whose perspective? Is it funny because they don't understand what's going on? You know, but it's all these things. And what you're talking about, it's like from your point of view, is all of these things that you're able to you have to survive, so you just talk about them. But you don't have to talk about it in such great length. You can just distill it to one page, and any of those things that you just brought up is like, oh yeah, it's all rough.
It's a talent, though. Editing is a talent.
I feel wounded.
That's hardcore, I think.
Yeah,
I think the 2-page you should be proud of, though, Blake, because 2 pages.
No,
that's hard. That's really hard.
Yeah, it was crazy, and it's funny because I see people that like post and they're like, you know, they're like, how do I start my comic script, and I don't know what to do, and I hop in and I'm like, dude, I wrote it on which I used to be vehemently against. I wrote it on my phone on Google Docs on my phone, and I cleaned it up later. But I mean, like, I wrote it on I got the idea was there. I had the phone. I had, you know, and like that's how I wrote my first script. And then as long as it's clean and everything's labeled right when you send it in, like no one's gonna be mad at you. You know, as long as they know who the characters are, what's going on. And I went I went pretty hard directing. You know, like, but it was at the end of every panel, I would be like, by the way, if the artist thinks they can make this look cooler, please do it. I don't know what I'm doing. So like, that was like the end of like every panel description. I was like, go crazy. But they ended up like, they stayed with it. And yeah, it was cool. And I learned a lot. And I did learn about like getting right into the moment, like finding that, like there's you know, because when you think about, I came from prose, right, and writing short stories and shit like that. So you think of like, or even an essay, you know, an introduction, the body, you know, and you're proving points of your experience, and then you wrap it all up in a conclusion, right? But you know, in a 2-pager, you don't get shit. You know, you get a moment. You know, and you find a cool, like you said, Jonathan, you find a fucking moment.
It's lucky.
Yeah, it's tough. It is really hard. I mean, there's a reason I don't do a lot of writing, because I can't shut up about a lot of stuff. But it's funny, like working with other people, because it's a lot easier to edit somebody else's stuff than it is yourself. And it's like, oh, you're going on and on and on. It's like, okay, just take this chunk, put it on the page. There, you're done. That's all you needed.
Yeah, like
That's
comics will make you acutely aware of how much space you really have on the page.
Yeah.
And especially when it's like shorter versions, or like even like the 8 to 10 pages that I had to write for this, I was like constantly taking out panels and replacing them. Maybe I should combine these together. And it's just this constant process of, oh, how can I also tell this visually instead of like over cluttering the page with all this writing and all this lettering. And it's such an art form, and it's so difficult, especially like the less time you have. I always like to say, whenever I'm querying like a book or a short story or a comic or anything like that, getting the synopsis down and the bio and like the back end cover blurb is one of the most difficult things, because you have such a limited word count, and every word counts, every panel counts, everything matters, and you learn how to really like kill your darlings and mince words.
Yeah, fuck a log line. Log line is the worst thing.
Log lines are
the worst thing.
Oh my gosh.
Take this thing that you love, that you work so hard on. If you're an indie creator, maybe you have 4 to 6 issues, you spent thousands of dollars on it. Wrap it up into a 3-line fucking paragraph that will sell it to anybody. Oh, it's the worst. It's
impossible. Like
it is akin to asking your guests what's the best thing about them on the spot at the start of the show.
Did I mention I don't like? I'm bad at writing bios. Like, it's that kind of shit. Like, what do
You guys don't.
how
You
do
can't overthink it. Log lines are just, it's advertising, it's marketing, it's pizzazz. It's just, like the most exciting part of the story in a sentence. Like it doesn't have to be what you know it is. Because
it's a different skill.
Creator,
Yeah.
this is a much
we're actually
complex,
we're stuck on
interesting,
that.
rich story full
We're
of
stuck on
dynamic.
that with the book that I'm working on right now, and my advice was like, so all the books that you or all the movies that you love that you reference when we were developing this thing, look at the back of the box, look or if you don't have the physical copy of the DVD or the Blu-ray, look at how like bizarrely they're marketed, and it's all just like 2 sentences of like, oh, you like Goodfellas, like read the log line for that, and it's just there's very little about the story itself. It's just about who's in it, what the character name is,
the
and what they're
phrases
doing.
and vibes and feelings.
Like,
watching
this is
it.
the thing. It's like,
comp titles. It's like
none of the shit that you think is going to be in there is in there.
Wow.
I'm a big fan of kind of buttering up the characters and the stories, like really trying to shine a spotlight on the emotion or shine a spotlight on one of the big, elements of the story or something that might be a genre favorite for somebody, and just fuck around. I've read a couple of really interesting books, like back matter approaches from some of my indie creator friends, including Phil. And I really like the approaches, like a creative approach that doesn't feel like it's stuck on, ooh, I got to get the story just right in this log line or else, it's more fun than that if you allow it to be, I think. But maybe that's just my masochistic approach.
I'm going to tell that to a client.
I mean,
they're
it
freaking out or something. I'll be like, hey, I had a guy on my shows, great artist, and he said you need to chill. and then I'm going to call Kraig and be like, can you give me a job? Hey, Sean, I wanted to ask you. We'll talk after. Sean, what's something, we were kind of talking about like difficulties of, like being too close or too far from the story and kind of how to be there as someone who's, telling stories differently these days. Like, did you struggle with anything pitching, coming up with your short for this?
I gave some old illustration comics that I published on my magazine Pork. So they're horror, and they're not like my gut wrenching tale of like emotional reaction at the present moment. So that's why I wasn't piping up. But I really feel like part of what I've learned to do post-stroke to get my first to get my blood pressure under control and getting all that stuff was it was just like controlling my reactions to things and like slowing my roll down. So I did that a lot when it was safe, and then as time was rolling on, things got crazier and crazier, and there was more to react towards in society in general, and I found it harder and harder to actually have a reaction that matched up with everyone else around me. I live in Portland, so like it's very much like a
kind of nice, like
dichotomous reaction
to
everything else, but I am like, I used to be like, a punk who's like breaking bottles and shit, just like more about channeling anger and channeling direct visceral response to impetus. But now I'm like, I really pause before I react to anything and like just slow down and like, sort of like with what Kraig was talking about with Tai Chi, where you like accept the energy that's coming in and like try to divert it and like not be controlled by it. And like I think that's, for me, that's why it's not so much to be anti-hate for me. It's more like not being hate and like trying to take it and go like take the impetus and like like there's people. I think one of the main reasons why people are so hateful right now is because they're full of this idea that they can somehow stop time from progressing and things from changing, and they've got obviously a president who's like selling them on these all the ideas, all ancient things like the coal industry is going to come back, or the American family is going to come back, or things going to be the same way they were. But like, it's fucking 2025, you know? Shit, the fucking bag has been open for a while. And no one wants to like admit that or understand that. And I feel like that's being able to understand where we are in reality right now is very much like I think passively, maybe not passively is the wrong word, but being able to take it and go like, not have a big fucking reaction is to me a reason to why hatred is actually, I think, like becomes like hatred is like a direct emotional response to like, I can control this stuff that's my input, whereas I refuse to believe that I can control anything at this point. So I don't have an emotional response to it. I know I just said a lot, but you know.
No, I was into it, dude. I wish I could get there. Like I have an emotional response to fucking everything.
Yeah.
I mean, like I am not good at controlling my emotions. Adam told me, Kraig, he said one of the things he hopes for me for 2026 is I don't go straight to panic. Cause like something happens, you know, and I'm like, oh God. And Adam's always like, it'll be cool, you know? Like,
yeah, but
I'm bad at that. I'm really bad at
You're a man of big emotions.
Yes. I feel
everything that Sean was talking about. It's like 2025 was a hell of a year to start blood pressure medication and Prozac.
Right. Yeah.
Like those are two things that I'm on. I was like, well, every day it's like, oh boy, because 2024 was real bad.
It's been a string of years.
It's all been real bad, but it like if you can't, I think I see so many people who are not able to figure out that they need additional help with that kind of thing. Like I got to a point where like I was having such a hard time with what Sean was talking about. Like I straight up needed blood pressure medication. Like, and then my everything else was like, I've avoided getting on SSRIs for a long fucking time, and I also didn't think that I needed them until I knew that I did. And that's something that like there was a huge conversation in general about mental health, but without any like tangible solutions of like, oh, but you know, whether or not it's just unplugging for a little while or a long while, or changing your routines, or exercising, or eating differently, or, you know, no shade to hot dogs, of course, but like just trying to figure out like you do have agency over the situation that you're in, even if it doesn't feel like you do. Because if you feel like you don't, your body will eventually tell you you don't, and then you won't. And then that's it. And it's tough to be in that situation. And, you know, everything that Sean was saying, it's like, yeah, get into that spot of like, just how do you perceive the situations that you're in? Don't feel like you have to immediately react to a thing, even though that may be the way that you came up. Like, yeah, it's hard to go against, you know, your entire childhood of just being this version of yourself until your body says, you know what, that's not going to work, dude.
Yeah.
Like, or your mind, you know, or both. Like, and we're in a situation where the entire country is like, it's all going one way or the other. And this is not sustainable, what we're doing. Like, it does have to fundamentally change. And if we don't figure out what that means, it will break down. It, you know, just maybe not in the way that people are expecting. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm not that creative. You know?
Dude, that's the one-page horror story.
That's the thing. It's like,
this is not sustainable. Like,
yeah, right.
Like it's I've thought it's like
dude.
it's not sustainable for like my mental health, or it's not sustainable for my nerves, right? But I haven't even really thought of the fact that like a fucking country can't run like this. Like it can't.
Mm-hmm.
You can't run with everybody scared and hating each other and nothing gets done. It's gonna
I guess the thing is it can, just not in the way that you want it to. You know, like it will exist. And you know, like what Jan said, like at the, you know, America's always run badly. It's always destroyed lives. It has always been built to kill. That is what that is what we came up on. Like we came over, and maybe not but like, you know, America was not built on the best shit.
Yeah, it wasn't a Thanksgiving handshake.
No,
Yeah.
no, none of this
Absolutely.
is good, man. So it's
they showed us how to eat corn, and we had a great dinner together.
And we
that
gave
was
them
in the
blankets.
books in school. Like
but
everybody's holding hands around the table, man.
And the irony is that like it's still just like, you know, what Phil is saying. Like the irony is that we're taking generations of putting the blame on who's at fault for the lot in life. Is it the Italians? Is it the Irish? Is it, you know, black people? Is it Hispanic people? Is it trans people? And it's like, it's just people, man. Like we're like they're who's to blame? We're all to blame. No one's to blame. It's just people trying to fucking live. And if you think that that's their fault, that the lot that you're in, instead of working on yourself, like that's the thing, is that like just fucking work on yourself for a while. And you know, it's not that easy. If it were, everybody would be doing it.
Yeah.
But it's really tough to be in this situation where everything feels so helpless. And so like Jam just dropped me a note, and I'm sure it was like for a lot of people, where it's like you get a note on Instagram where it's like, Jam would like to send you a message. and it's like somebody who's actually trying to do a thing. And that's fucking great. Like that's really, you know, I have real high hopes for this campaign. I don't know if it's going to succeed, but I hope it does. And I hope that we're able to put money towards these causes, because seeing how bad it, you know, like from when Jam reached out to me and it was bad then to now, it's comic. It's so comically worse.
Yeah.
In
You
the
know,
last
like
2 weeks.
Every day.
Yeah.
Horror is a joke. And if you were to tell me how bad things would be now versus when when JM reached out to me, it would be like, no, it can't get that. And it can always get that. It can always be worse. That's the thing. That's the punchline. Yeah. It can always be worse.
Tomorrow will be worse.
Like to point out
Trump will say some dumb shit. It's so annoying. It's so annoying.
One other thing about the book on what Jonathan was saying is like, beyond those things, it was also for all the artists involved, this was like an expression of, this book was also channeling those feelings, those frustrations, all the sort of weird stuff that's been going on through their art into this book. Nobody who worked on this book or submitted art to this book got paid to do it. Everybody did it on their own. This is all, a group effort to make this book and get it out there. It's not just talking the talk, it's walking the walk too, and
that's, when Jam says
it was a cathartic thing for everybody involved,
when Jam says like he was only able to come away with 100 people out of 500, that's pretty fucking good in comics for nobody getting paid. Like when you think about an anthology where nobody gets any money for anything, 100 people is pretty solid.
I wouldn't put it that way. I would donating their art. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I mean, but like that's the thing. It's like it may feel like like it's not a net positive, but it really is. Like and the Kickstarter aspect, it's you're gonna feel like really bad about the numbers because you see the thing like slowly ticking, and it's so easy to feel bad about funding in the middle of the campaign where there's that little lull, but it's like just
especially if you keep talking about it, man.
Yeah.
Twist that
No,
knife.
it's that lull is everybody.
But that's the thing, like everybody that's ever run a crowdfunding, but like that's the thing. It's like I say it like that because everybody waits till the last minute. Don't wait till the last minute.
Don't wait till the last minute.
What are we doing right now, man?
No, because that goes into a lot of why everybody's here in general, because everybody thinks, well, it won't get that bad. Surely somebody will come in and fix this. Surely somebody will come in at the last minute to fund this. I don't have to act right now. I can put it off. And that's the thing. Maybe you can't. Because if everybody thinks that way, then it will just keep not getting solved. It will not get funded. It will not be like people won't get help. And it's just to feel like you can do something right now. You don't have to wait. You can act right now. You can put $1 in. If you can't spend $40 right now, you can put $1 in. If you don't want to get the book, but you want to help the charities, you can throw $1 at them right now. Like, you don't have to get the book. You can give $1 to one of the charities right now. That's more than what they had before. It's $1. Everything counts. And like the lament that every creator has who is on social media is like they have thousands of followers. If one person gave $1 or 25 cents, well, put it down to in terms of a quarter. Like you would get thousands of dollars if you have thousands of followers, like 100, whatever. Like if you just kept doing that, but people feel so helpless because they see things that they feel like they don't have agency over. It's like you absolutely have agency over that. And
that was one of the the goals with the project itself is, alone it's tough to make a change, but you take control over what you do have control over, right? And let's just say like your budget only accounts for like a certain amount of entertainment. Like you might as well do something good with that same entertainment, right? For the creators, I wanted this to be a stoic exercise, channeling our anger, taking control. One of the things that we did with the book, or what I did with the book, is I said, we're not going to depict any actual existing person. And part of that was, I didn't want one person to be the focal point where we're not targeting, we're not hating, we're pointing out what's wrong and what needs to change and what's horrific about life, about existence, not just now, but different writers. Ricardo's story is a futuristic sci-fi story featuring aliens. People set some of their stories in the past, others in the present day, others in worlds that just don't have an analog here. So it's supposed to be meditative in a weird way, and it's supposed to help get our jollies out and our angers out, and also do that for the readers. And contrary to what Jonathan says, don't just put in $1. Like, I would appreciate it. I would appreciate it.
Like that.
Jonathan, what the fuck?
Yeah, so there's so many really fucking cool.
You're gonna get like all these
external
backers
rewards.
and you're gonna come for me. You're gonna be like, fuck Blake, fuck Blake's buzz.
Shut up! Shut up!
Yeah.
Now the boss called you out on it.
There's so many rewards out there. There's so many cool add-ons. Jonathan's cover, the original illustration for the cover, is something that already got picked up, and that was $1,200.
That
We
is
have
sick.
commissions
Jeez.
available from artists. Kraig Rasmussen, a total genius of an artist, is doing commissions, and you can back the project and get a Kraig Rasmussen commission. And so it's not just that you're getting a commission, it's that you're getting your commission and you're putting money towards a good cause in the process.
Yep.
Right. And so yeah, that's I am hoping that people do open their wallets a little bit wider, because things are going to a good cause.
Yeah,
No,
if you try and back for $1, fuck you. All right, that's what I'm sorry.
no.
I'm sorry.
I will take.
You take your dollar and put it back in your pocket.
No,
We
they
don't
take
need-
$1.
If
We
you
don't
do
need
it
it.
in
Let's
a
go
dollar,
39 more, motherfucker. All right.
we'll
Back
just
this
record. We'll record Blake saying "fuck you." If you donate $1, we'll send that recording to you.
Play the sound bite.
That is a
over and
sound
over
drop.
again.
That's a sound drop for every Kickstarter campaign going forward.
No, fuck it. I'll take the $1 too, but like $20 gets you a 250-page book. That's really fucking cool.
Yeah.
And $40 will get you a physical copy of that book. And we're going all out with the production for it.
And he's
And-
undercounting the pages, ladies and
Oh
gentlemen.
yeah, no, it's
More
like we're at 264,
Which is great for printing.
yeah, we're at 264 currently. There's t-shirts available, right? There's so many cool things that we have available, and all of it is going towards a good cause, and all of it just features amazing art from amazing artists.
I'm gonna drop a question that I've wanted to ask and had a hard time finding a segue into it, but we're talking funding and money now, so
Yeah.
this is as good as
Segue
I can
away.
get.
Yeah.
So I deal a lot. I build crowdfunding campaigns and do that. We do a lot of marketing and stuff too, right? It's my boss's marketer of the year. It was just fucking dope. But that's my life, and I think of stuff like that. And this is sad, but like this is something you have to kind of be cognizant of now. Is like who can I be Blake around? Who can I really show like who I am, what I believe, and how I feel? Like who can I show that to, right? And who, like, if they know me professionally, or if they know me, even if they know me as a friend, right? And there's a new marketing perspective now, right, where it's like everybody's speaking out, but then it's like it's even left facing people are like, well, we don't want to do, we're not touching it. We're not talking about it, whether it's AI or whatever, because it's and a lot of people in comics won't touch AI, right, unless you're against it, but it's just like a lot of people try to avoid that conversation because it's really not worth getting into it, right? It's a
minefield right now.
Yeah, but this is kind of another one, because even though it's a divided topic, it's a divided country. And even if you're both on the same side, you may disagree on something weird, right, that you're oddly personal about. And so there's this idea, right, where it's like, does speaking out hurt the sales of my book? And a lot of people are dealing with this right now. This book is speaking out. You can't not speak out, right? Yep. So like, but what was your all's thoughts on going into a project like this? Like, I'm not saying to like think about the money, right? But I'm from a marketing perspective, knowing what you got to overcome.
Your brand?
Yeah, and how are you? How did it affect? You've all done crowdfunding stuff before. You've done indie stuff before. How did it affect the way you're pushing it? Other than hitting weirdos like me up. Well, I actually hit you guys up, so that's even a lie. But fake news. Sorry, but you know what I'm saying. So what was? I don't know. You fight for who goes first or raise your hand. I don't know, but like I'm interested in this.
I think that's, but
I personally feel like I just had to get to a point where, for myself, because I really didn't have, I still don't have a media presence like whatsoever, but like I started my kind of TikTok account and my Instagram stuff, with Ricky and writing, like back in like exactly a year ago. And within that year, as we all know, things have gotten monumentally shittier when it comes to us as creatives and generative AI, as well as just the current state of the United States of America. and how crappy everything is. Every day there's just a new story about someone getting killed and murdered in cold blood by an ICE agent, or families getting ripped apart. And it got to a point where I didn't want to stand for anything less than the rights of people who deserve to exist in this country with you know, we have certain inalienable rights that, you know, everyone gets, and that's literally, you know, what we've declared when this country was started. And the fact that so many people don't have that nowadays, it pisses me off. It makes me so fucking angry thinking about how, you know, as a minority myself, you know, I've been lucky enough not to really experience prejudice much in my life, having, you know, grown up in Southern California, a pretty like left-leaning liberal, you know, place. But a lot of people don't have that privilege. And I feel like it is also my duty as, you know, to be, when I am this type of person, you know, I'm in this position to be able to help other people and to stand for something. So I take notice of creators who play it safe. And I actually don't think that's good at all for Brandt, because I feel like you have an obligation to help your neighbor. You have an obligation to help people who don't have the ability to speak up for themselves. The ones who could very well get shot out on the street and, you know, turned into some sort of, you know, like, I don't know. When I think about this kind of stuff, it gets me flustered, because there's the very concept of America is so unique. There is no other country like the United States, you know. It was at least founded on the principle that anyone could come here and have a dream and make that dream come true. But when we're dealing with all this racism, xenophobia, and transphobia, I mean, like, it gets in the way of just what it means to be a person. And so it wasn't until I traditionally used to not be someone who was like very like into politics, and I'd be like, oh, like not really, but like this administration and the current, you know, political state of the world has really galvanized me into wanting to take a stand and do stuff and say stuff. And I came from a position, maybe, you know, we all sort of feel very similarly, of like, well, I'm just a comic creator. I'm just an artist. I'm just a musician. How can I help? Right? This is how we protest. Whether or not we can go outside, whether or not we can picket, stand on the streets, or you know, really fight that cause. This is how we fight. And I found that this was a way that I could do something positive and actually make an impact. And like Jan was saying, like, this money goes to a good cause. This goes to people who cannot speak for themselves, for, you know, AIP. I think we're doing all like LGBTQI plus communities, where living in certain states, you know, and, you know, is literally like a death sentence. And I don't want to live in a world where the United States is like that. And if I have a way that I can actually make the world better and change that, I want to do it.
Fuck yeah, dude. Like, that's awesome. No, I mean, I'm like, I understand. I understand not wanting to fall into bear traps, right? But also it's like, you can't be quiet. The bad people aren't quiet. Right, exactly. Those fucking people in my family aren't quiet.
They will not shut the fuck up.
Yeah. And it's,
so what's the danger to speak out on our side? I mean, I guess I'll just take this moment to say my side.
Yes.
Like, nobody's going to be untouched by this anyway. So fuck it. You know, I don't think we're painting a target on our back, because this is pretty unpopular times right now, and more unpopular as the last couple of weeks have passed. So I sort of feel like there might be a little bit of a target that we're painting on our backs, depending on the level of visibility that this project has. But that's the only way that's really going to be the case. There will be some small kerfuffles, no doubt, but who fucking cares? Like,
we're targeted by
all tired of this.
We're all leftists.
Yeah, and I mean, they're going out there calling us terrorists.
Know where we are.
Yeah, like if we're being called terrorists, we might as well fucking be a little more terrifying, you know?
Exactly.
No, it's like right now, if you have a queer themed book, right, and maybe your book gets banned in a school district or in a library in a red state, dude, that's fucking news. And you can put that on your blog. You can make a graphic. You can share it. You'll get fucking books. Like, right? The fucking these idiots, right? And now I don't care if you're a fan of Blake's Buzz. If you're who I'm talking about, you're an idiot. These idiots are banning books, like you thinking that they're doing the Lord's work, right? But right now, what they're doing is they're helping your book marketing, and they're helping you in the book market. Who they're hurting is libraries. But eventually, you know, when's the and I don't want to like get all doom patrol here, but like, and not that, I don't know, that was a weird thing to say, not doom patrol, but like, I don't want to like, when's it going to be not a marketing campaign anymore? And it's like, oh, we don't have fucking books to read. And oh, if we have these books and they find out we have these books, and I'm reading V for Vendetta again right now, right? And it's like, if they find out we have these things and that becomes a punishable offense, like we're on that road. It's how long we're here is where things start to really change to that extreme, right? So
Blake, you're already like, we're past that point. I mean, they're denying people entry into the United States based on the content of their social media posts.
That's true.
People are being turned away at the door. So yeah, like we're already living in an existence where people are being censored, shut down, stopped, shot in the face for trying to record what's going on and being a witness. And it's like, so how does this affect my brand? It's like,
I think that's kind of the thing, is that like, how do you quantify any of this in a way that makes sense for marketing? And
well, the only thing really that makes sense is to stand up.
Right.
The only thing that makes sense to do is to make your voice heard any fucking way you can. I don't want to be out on the streets holding a picket sign, but I can sure as shit help organizations that put people who need help with law, set them up with lawyers. I can help them, create civil action, civil lawsuits. Let's fight it any way we can, because we're not marching on the street yet, and we don't have guns in our hands yet, but we're trying to fight things the way that we want to fight things. We're trying to do it respectfully. We're trying to do it with education. We're trying to do it with a message. We're trying to do it with entertainment, and change some hearts and minds in the process. But arm people with knowledge and resources.
Yep. Well, a message can go far.
Buy guns, everybody.
What's that? Buy guns, yeah. Canned food, guns, fallout shelter. No,
I think it is really hard, especially in comics, because comics is so much about sales. Like if you do conventions, you've got to have that convention pitch. You got to be able to talk to people of all walks that just show up at your booth, and it's hard to recognize, like, it's not like you're vetting people at the door to just make sure you have the same political values. And it's been kind of nice to not have to have that anxiety, of which I have much anxiety in general, but not doing conventions anymore affords me that nice breathing room of like, oh, I don't have to worry about like presenting a certain way.
What state are you in, Jonathan?
I'm fortunate, so I'm in Illinois, but I did conventions all over I did San Diego, I did New York, I did Portland, like all the major comic conventions, and I love talking. Clearly, I love talking. And I love talking to people. Yeah, I know, right?
How long have you been sitting on this information?
That's the most interesting part about me. You cannot.
I've been trying to get him to talk all night.
I know. It sucks. But that's the thing, is that like it's really hard to figure out like how to market something when so many things are going wrong. If that's your job, like Blake, if that's your job, I'm so sorry. Like
I'm doing a lot of conventions, dude.
Like I used to do motion graphics, and like I'm in the like marketing. I legit love marketing. I love selling shit. I'm so glad I don't have to do it right now. Yeah. Like because fuck that. I'm barely making any money.
You're
right
missing.
now.
You're missing what we provide people, though, dude.
No, no,
Jonathan,
but,
start
When you
selling
go
this
out
book.
and meet
I
people
love.
who are reading
I
your
do
books,
love that. I do love that. But
there
it's
is like a real connection to humanity.
the thing
a
that
beautiful
sucks
thing.
is when people feel like they have to play it safe. They have to, because for all of that great thing, where we're all at is the flip side to feeling like I can't say the thing that I want to say, so I have to sell something. I have to not be connected to this project because I have to work with people who don't share my views. And that sucks because the more you are aligning yourself to that, what you think is the center isn't. Because that's not the center. That's the side that is hoping that you will just stay silent while they're beating people up, while they're detaining people, while they're deporting people. And I don't know where that is. But it's not as center as you want to believe it is. And it's not marketing to the middle, it's marketing to the side that is supporting that. And I love talking to people. I want to be able to talk to people on all sides of these things. But if you're not willing to recognize how bad shit is in your marketing, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Well,
I
not
think
speaking
you're
up.
but
And I mean, like
people are people. That I don't meet MAGA chuds at Comic Cons or horror cons or Gothic markets or anything like that. I don't meet those people. I'm not afraid of that happening because I meet a lot of different types of people all the time. I do events almost every weekend, and
I miss horror.
I don't think
I never
that
made any money at horror cons, but I love it.
I'm just saying this is a credit to our comics community.
Yeah.
There aren't a bunch of assholes in comics.
And if there is one, they stand out like a sore thumb. Like they walk by and everybody's like, look over there.
You're right, but I think
shit.
that's the part where it's like if you're feeling like you have to hide behind a brand, or if you're feeling unsafe saying something, and I guess that's my point. Isn't that I think that these communities are full of like people who are on the fence about this stuff, especially in horror. You're not going to get a lot of people who aren't comfortable speaking their mind, also in comics. But if you feel like your brand can't survive you being honest about a situation, maybe it's time to do a little brand update.
Yeah, your brand sucks. If that's the case.
That's it.
Spinning off of this, I mean, I can't remember his name, but the Dilbert artist.
Scott Adams.
Okay, point exactly. Guess what? When I die, I said this to a buddy. I was like, dude, when I die, I hope people are sad, and I hope they don't make AI pictures of me. Like, I don't.
Dude,
good metrics.
You know, it's but that's you did that. So get this. I fucking the community saw this, what would be an icon, right? But he chose his path, right? He dies, and no one's fucking sad about it, right? And then I literally see fucking Comicsgate people crawling out, and they see that, and they're like, "Oh fuck, man! Like, you know what? I'm sorry. Like, I shouldn't have said all that stuff." Like, they're like, "Oh, like people were like, whoa, like, oh, if I'm that kind of asshole, you can forgive different levels of asshole, right? Like, you can be an asshole, people still like being around you sometimes. You don't have to be perfect, right? But like being a bigot and that kind of hatred and openly professing it, which is what I hate now, because everybody can just say it used to have to be whispered, or you heard your grandparents say the N-word when you were a kid, but they didn't say it at the grocery store, right? And they could say it at the grocery store now, or anyway. But so but anyways, these comic skaters are coming out and they're like repenting, because they're like, fuck, when I die, I hope I hope people are sad and don't make AI pictures of me, right?
That's
Like,
so. It's ridiculous though that like that's the motivation to stop being a piece of shit. Is the way you're going to be perceived
Well, you know-
after you
you know
die?
what?
Like, just don't be a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey
it's
man,
not hard.
let's
Yeah,
let's allow
yeah,
them
but
their
I mean-
self-awareness where they
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
honestly,
true.
I'll take that. I'll
Yeah.
any,
It means to
any
it,
level
yeah.
of self
At the very least.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I didn't think that's where you're, because I don't follow any of because again, blood pressure, but that is not where I thought you were going to go with it.
when I said the gators were coming out, yeah, no, it was like,
No, I was like, oh, are they making AI pictures of Scott Adams in heaven and like shaking hands with Hulk Hogan? Like, oh no. No, I like honestly, like any self reflection is good. Like, 'cause just you recognize, like, oh yeah, this does have an end game. Like all of this shit does end at some point, and you will be remembered for something.
Well, I mean, that's what we're talking about here. That's why this book isn't as big of a risk as it seems, and maybe even felt for a lot of us while we're working on it, because it comes down to what's fucking right and wrong, and we all know what is right and wrong in these times, you know. And it's like so painfully obvious who's lying, who's telling the truth, who was right all along, who was fucking wrong and stealing shit all along. And it's just one of those things that's like, dude, we
It's
just
hot.
have to finally relent and say what's true.
It's hot
you know?
dogs.
It's
Craig, it should be obvious. And
be.
the reason
I know.
that this book exists is because for too many people, it's not obvious.
Well, but even them, a lot of them, they know how fucking bad they're being. That's why
They
they're
gotta
acting.
know,
That's,
yeah,
that's
they-
why they say
It's-
fucking
yeah.
bitch. You know what I mean? Because
taking
they
the
know
money
they're
because
doing something bad and getting away
They're all
with it.
fucking poor.
Dude,
So I don't know. It's
Yeah.
you know, they're morally bankrupt for sure. But you know, it's one of those things. Like I just think more people know now what is right and wrong than they are saying, but it's actually becoming pretty obvious that a lot of people are willing to stand up. You know, because if you just, I mean, I'm not a poll guy, but if you look at the numbers, it was always 1/3 in support of this fucker, and now it's less than that. It's got to be. Because it's just, he's doing stupid shit that betrays everything that he told them he stood for. So anyway, you know, we won't say his name or get into that, but
Like
I just think there's a lot of lying going on to themselves, you know.
So I think it's
changing.
undoubtedly.
troubling before our eyes. I think the violence is going to ramp up because that's what a cornered animal does, and these fascists know they're fucked because they always lose. Fascists always lose. Show me a current fascist, regime that's taking over the world. They don't exist because they can't last.
Yeah.
Backstabbing scumbags.
I mean,
and idiots. And
the
they
US
use violence as a way to try to solve every problem.
Yeah.
And
no, but
America's
I do think it's important to write, like what you're saying is correct, but we have to define the current situation as what it is. If we're not going to acknowledge that that's where we're at, we're doing a disservice to our current.
I'm acknowledging exactly.
No, but that's the thing. It's like, show me. Okay, it's the U.S. That's where we're at. That's we haven't toppled it yet. It exists. It is successfully doing these things.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying, historically speaking, this never lasts. As long as the people stand up and do their shit, and we're gonna do our shit. We're Americans. We're gonna do our shit. We don't. Nobody agrees with any of the stuff that's going on. Like Kraig was saying, maybe 30%.
Maybe,
and even
probably not
people in
anymore.
Are trying to quit and leave and keep the money. I mean, what the country's trying, what the fascists want to do is like we make everybody really poor, then we illegalize homelessness. You go to jail for homelessness, and we build a lot more prisons where we can put all the deportees and the homeless people and everybody who doesn't have a job, and they can work for $1 a week, and for the industry. And that's the big scary plan that they have in the back of their minds. Like the tech bros want little tech fiefdoms of states owned by a company that doesn't have any laws, and they can do whatever they want, and age of consent is 11 or some shit, this is what they want to do, and it's a joke, and nobody's going to let them do it here. And it's not 1930s Germany. It's only that way in terms of the methods. But that's a much smaller country that was beaten to 55% unemployment by the rest of the world. A tiny little country with a bunch of angry young men who wanted to kill people. We're a giant country, and most of us fucking hate these guys. So let's let everybody know that we hate these guys.
Exactly.
And support horror, not hate. Whoa! That was awesome. Right? That was cool.
Yeah.
Circling back.
Came all the way around.
For more than $1.
More, yeah.
For $2 at least.
$2. I got $2 over here.
I'm actually, if anybody from Kickstarter watches my show, I think we would just appreciate if you would take the tip option off of the whole platform. I'm actually, I know I found a new cause to fight for. I'm sorry. I know, like, I was getting this tip jar. No, I'm kidding.
Blake, I got $100 tip from one of the backers, so let's not get rid of the tips.
Yeah, I've seen people do tip. What's crazy is I worked on a campaign recently. It was people from their company that and it's a cyber security firm, so like a different tax bracket level of people, right? But they were leaving like big tips, and so like we're going through getting ready for like fulfillment, and it's just like you didn't want anything. Like you could have got like everything. They and one of the tiers, if you gave so much, like they drew you into the book. We had to do 22 patches, guys. We had like 22 patches we had to send off that we're having done for the hardcover, which is dope, right? Like people were digging it, but we thought there'd be like a few, and I just remember like Joe Keating is the editor, and like we were like doing the final tally, and Joe's like, wait, how many? And he's like, I have to tell the artist he's doing how many of these? and then we had to like get pictures from everybody, and it was fun. Anyway, it was cool though. But yeah, some people gave a substantial amounts. It could have been drawn in the book and all sorts of shit, and they just wanted to throw money at the project. So I mean, yeah, people would do it, but I agree. It was something like this. This is going to be special. It's going to be huge. It's going to be nice on the bookshelf. It's going to be tons of stuff to read. Yeah. Hopefully you'll read it in a couple years and be like, whew.
Right?
I'm glad we're not dealing with that anymore.
Closes the book. They did it.
Yeah.
From your lips.
It was all a
It's
dream.
really cool. Just because of how hard anthologies are, and with the thinking about marketing while not thinking about marketing and doing your press and stuff, and I commend you all for doing something like this. Of course now's the time, and it keeps getting timelier. Like every time we blink, right? I'm sure there's a news article waiting for us as soon as this show ends. I'm not, who knows? But
10 minutes before I jumped on, we got rid of funding for addiction and mental health services.
Great,
cool.
Yeah,
billions. Of black and brown people.
I'm still waiting for no one's talked about the Russian tanker that we took. That Russia's mad about.
I don't know how the fuck we got away with that.
We have we're shooting people in the street, all this shit's going on, but there was a big fucking international incident that no one's fucking talking about.
Yeah, but they're gonna give Papa Putin Ukraine, so he's fine with it.
We can
have a tanker because we're
vote for a country that we don't even know.
Probably.
Great.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I
think
like
it. It seems like
anyway,
we can go suck it. So yeah.
He gets Ukraine and Trump gets to fuck with Venezuela. That's what I think the deal was. Because Russia was getting oil from Venezuela,
and maybe Putin doesn't cry about Greenland, when that happens or whatever. Anyway, guys,
we got Greenland to look forward to.
Yeah, let's get on the checklist of all the things happening.
We did this on. I produce Adam's show, Comic Industry Insiders, and we just kind of did like a diamond rundown, and it was just, and it's like. And every day it's like new stuff's happening, or then they announced they're like, oh, they're the $800,000 more dollars to lawyers, and then now it's Title VII. It's just like, but that feels like one of you said it earlier. I think like the marketing industry in comics is very much akin to like American politics right now, because it's just all this shit. It's a fucking snowball rolling down. I guess really what it is it's a turd that has started rolling down a shit mountain, and the turd is now a super turd. It's just like,
I thought we weren't talking about Trump anymore.
In that sense, if you like talk to anybody in another country, or if you talk to anybody who's not in comics, I was talking to my partner about the Diamond bankruptcy, and I had to like pull up a story that attempts to give a streamlined just a little bit of a sense of how bad that was for everybody. And it's like, okay, well, so how are things in America to anybody outside of America? Yeah, it's real bad. And I'm sorry for however we're affecting you, by the way, because it's also really bad for you, because we're also really bad.
And we're scary.
If you follow the metaphor like further, right? So like what's happening to comics distribution right now, and I'm benefiting on it. You get these micro aggregators that are helping people get into the direct market, right? Which is what we do, right? We help, and so you have like, which is actually good because now distribution has competition.
Diamond never should have gotten.
So now you have like this. Like a growing community of like micro aggregators of various sizes, some larger, some smaller, right? So, but if you apply that to like the government, like, are we gonna have like states secede and like? I mean,
that is a real question. It is like, at what point does like I live in Illinois, where we had to just pull out of the ACA. If we didn't do that and the ACA didn't get extended at the last, past the last minute, I wouldn't be able to afford anything.
Yeah.
Like I got a medication that costs almost $4,000 that I got to take every month. Like that's not an option too. I don't get to opt out of that. Like, and I'm very fortunate that it's covered by several things, but if any of those things go away, that's the thing. It's like everything is so delicately put together in so many situations, and if you've got the privilege to not have to think about that delicate balance of things, like, congratulations.
Yeah.
For everybody else, like that's a thing. And I think a lot of people coming into this point in time who are like, oh, America is really bad right now. It's like, yeah, it's been real bad for a lot of people for a long time, if not their entire lives.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of culture shock for us, for white America. It's like, what, things are bad? Like, Well, we're not. And again, how old are we? Like, as a country, we're not that old.
200
in the scheme of things. 270, 260 or some shit. Yeah, like, I'm not a history buff. I'm not the one to ask.
It's 250.
250, yeah. So like, oh man, that's an anniversary year. Yeah, we made
historians all of last
had a
year.
big party for
Historians,
250.
We had a good run.
Oh no! It is 250 this year.
No, Trump wants to have a big.
Get the coin, the commemorative coin.
Wow.
Yeah,
Probably.
Gold.
Not as big as his birthday parade, though, right?
And for some reason, a giant penis inscribed on the coin.
He wants Greenland for his birthday. He's gonna start.
That's crazy.
But Daddy Putin, I want it.
Oh man.
Well, guys, I've kept you over 2 hours, and this was awesome. It was so great. It was so great to like meet and talk to all of you. And I know we talked about a lot of things tonight, but I think one thing is very clear that I definitely picked up on it. And I'm not the most esteemed individual in the world, but so I'm sure anybody watching picked up on this too. Is everybody on this panel is and involved in this project seems absolutely extremely passionate both, and excited about it, mad to be excited about it, but happy to be a part of it, happy to be trying to do something, right? Because and I'm one of them. I won't fucking lie, man. I think about a lot of shit, but I don't know what to do, right? And you all got together and are doing something, and no matter what happens, no one can ever take that away from you, and no matter what happens in the future, whatever, the more we see of what our neighbors in this country are capable of, right? Like, no one will ever be able to take that. You guys stood for the right thing, right? And that's so admirable, and I just think it's fucking cool. And to tie it into genre, into something you love, into something that's scary for different reasons, I think that's just real smart. And I don't know, I really hope it works out well for you.
Thank you.
I want horror on the screen or in my books, like not
on the streets. Yeah, exactly.
I want to order in my pants.
It really, I mean, seriously, thanks to Jan for getting the ball rolling on it, because, like, I know it is, I'm rambling about agency, but putting anything together last year, right now, at any point when things feel helpless, like, it is so hard, and Jan got the ball rolling on it. Like, that's really something.
It's hard crowdfunding right now. The end of the year last year started slowing down. We're in this winter New Year time, right? Maybe people might have told you, people told us about negative burn, like a lot of people don't do Kickstarters at this time, but our thought was like, if no one else is doing it, why can't we? It's just like everybody's like, you have to launch on a Tuesday or a Thursday. Yeah. Now everybody's launching on a Tuesday and Thursday. What the fuck's happening Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right? So anyway, but it's just it's a tough time for Kickstarter anyway. So it's cool. I'm glad to see you guys out there. Someone needs to be doing it. Someone needs to be telling these stories. Someone needs to be fucking shaking people, reminding them to wake up. It's I still hate that. I still hate that fucking woke is a negative fucking connotation. It's like, should we be asleep? Should we be asleep at the wheel? What do you want me to be?
Yeah.
Anyway. We could keep rambling, but this is what I want to do. I want to go around, and I want to give everybody one more chance. If you missed anything or really wanted to say something tonight or something about the project, like please say it. But also remind people, if you got like social media, web stores, Substacks, whatever. Whatever platform you're on, I'm not going to fucking judge you, like get that free ads, get those free clicks, but let us know where to follow you, keep track of your art and stories and future comic bookings. Let's see. I'm going to start. Phil, let's start with you, buddy. Let's go. Let's fill us in, dude.
You can follow our antics at Diabolic LLC, Diabolic with a K, on Instagram at Diabolic LLC. And we're going to be after this book, we're going to be launching a Kickstarter campaign for Murder Vibes from the Monster Dimension Expanded Second Edition. It's our first graphic novel from 2020, and it's sold out. Ooh. So we're doing a bigger second edition with a new story. So I'll try to, Blake, I'll give you a heads up when we're getting ready for that.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Plan is to be back. Hopefully every Wednesday if I don't go crazy. Well, I mean, I'm doing some traveling too. Like I still don't know what's going on. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to Comics Pro next month, which is dope. So I'm going to be helping like some guys at the EXP, like film content and stuff. So it's weird. Like I'm not going with Prana, but Prana's going to be there too. It's just kind of weird how it's all kind of fell together. And then I was really excited because Planet Comic-Con has some really killer guests this year, and I was going to try and see if I could get in as like a pro or something, or like get in as or go as Comics the Magazine or something.
Media,
And then, but I don't have to now because I get to go to C2E2, so I'm getting taken to. Yeah, so I'm going to go eat hot dogs in Chicago. But anyway, I don't know. I'm gonna. those weeks may be weird. So like,
R.I.P.
if I have to, if I
I
take
know a
those
good
weeks
indie comic
off,
artist
I
in
apologize.
Chicago, by the way.
What was that?
If you want me to hook you up with him.
Oh, nice. Oh yeah, party on, Wayne.
Technically, that's where I'm at. Technically.
Yeah, I heard you say.
It's not you.
I'm in Kansas
Sorry,
City.
Tom.
No, I know. But that's. I am also in that realm of Chicago people, but because I don't go anywhere, it's weird.
But yeah, long story short, Phil. Other than that, like I really wanted. I'm really trying to do the Wednesday night because back I used to go live like a couple times a week, 3 times a week, which burned me out real quick because I couldn't say no to anybody. But no one ever fucking knew when I was going live, you know. And so I'm really trying to do the fucking Wednesday night. It's New Comic Book Day, list, bag and board your shit and listen to me. Try and get you to spend more money on indie comics. More than $1, you cheap motherfuckers. Anyway,
Yeah, we love you, Blake.
No, this is. I mean, since you do that, Kraig, you're next, bud. Where do we keep track of you and all that good stuff?
Well, you can see my social media handle here and right next to my name on screen. It's Kraig Comics, KraigComx on pretty much all socials will get me there, get you to find me. And then my website is monkeygong.com, from which I publish everything and have my shop and all that. It's MONKEYGONG. And got a few things coming up this year. I don't know what I can talk about or not. Probably some Boom, probably some New Times magazine covers and stuff like that. Maybe a little heavy metal. Who knows? I don't know.
Sick, dude.
Comics move slow. It's hard to know when you can talk about stuff. So.
No, it moves slow till it doesn't need to anymore. And then they're like, this has to be done tomorrow and it has to be perfect.
Brother, I could tell you some stories about the fall that were such a pain in the ass that exactly sounded like that the whole time, where I was like, I just fucking hate this so much. Anyway, last minute shit sucks. But I will say, just to blow you up a little bit, Blake, I love Comics Industry Insiders. I'm a huge fan of that podcast. So whatever you're doing to help on that, I'm sure it's helping it a lot because it's an amazing show. But also Comics the Magazine. If you guys don't know about Comics the Magazine, keep your ears and eyes out for that. It's exciting. So yeah, I'm stoked.
I just saw. I don't know when it's going out. Soon, because I just saw it and asked for some corrections. But there's a new press release, so I'd probably go to comicsmagazine.com. You can sign up for our newsletter for free. Because I'm social, I get to say that now. Because I was like, they kept having me do stuff like for the magazine, but I wasn't like officially on like the team, And I just, dude, I hated how much I wanted it. I even joked about it with Adam. Like after I was like, dude, like you have no idea. He was like, I knew you wanted it. I was like, I wanted it so bad.
I emailed you guys to try to be a part of it because I think a lot of us feel that way. I was just like. I was like, Rob Gilroy has a strip. Fuck that. Rob can't have it all. Like, I think everybody likes what's happening with that magazine. So.
No, yeah, we're really excited, and they got Joe Keating is him and Adam like they get these like crazy ideas and they make them happen, and then Rico makes it happen on the page. Like they got a great team, and like we're doing really cool work. Like the other day on Comic Industry Insiders, we did a deal about like how to make your shops accessible and like for people that need physical assistance and stuff, and things you can do. Not everybody can build ramps in their store, right? It's like things you can do, and it's just like it feels good to like help make people make comics, right? Like I don't know, I'm doing very fulfilling work and it's stressful as fuck, but it's cool, right? It's just anyway, yeah. It's thank you. I'm glad it's I've fun doing that. Tuesdays are stressful. I won't lie. Like that show happens on mostly like a couple ideas Monday. Everything gets put together. Like we play fast and loose with that show, but it keeps like coming together. And so like the chaos formula works. But that's I'm glad you like it, man. Cool.
Yeah, man. Well, like we said, the comics industry is not short on news or happenings at any time lately.
Yeah, luckily we have like stuff to talk about, right? It's been they're even talking. I don't like they're looking for we're trying to find like a lawyer or somebody who would be into like with all the like Paramount Netflix stuff to like we'd be like, what does this mean?
But, what's the comic book lawyer guy?
Gamal.
Dirk.
Yeah, Gamal.
Gamal
Hennessy.
He's busy. I know. I don't.
Oh, he's probably Well, he is the comic book lawyer guy. That probably makes sense that he's busy.
So I know he's been. His name's come up, but yeah, it's like time and stuff. Like, I think they want somebody who like we can hit up like the night before. Like, can you come on and talk? And that's what's hard to find, right?
Let's talk later, Blake.
Okay,
I might have somebody for you.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah. Anything that makes me look good at work, I'm all about. All right, who's that? Ricardo! I know you said you were working on some social media stuff and some TikToks and stuff. Let us know where to get that sauce.
Yes. So my handle across all social media, I have a TikTok, Instagram, as well as my own personal website. It's all Ricky in Writing, RICKYINWRITING, Ricky in Writing. It's spelled exactly how you think it would be spelled. I focus mostly on just like writing and editing. So I come at it from just a storytelling, the writing perspective. I don't have any artistic ability in my fingers whatsoever. As of this moment, I would love to learn how to draw, but right now it's all just writing and editing. And so I love to, try and help out a lot of comic writers who are trying to get into the space, who don't know how to get into it, because I know how difficult, having gone through that process myself, how difficult it is to, get into it and not knowing what a comic strip looks like. And there's sort of no package that you can like download or kind of read that to teach you, So that's kind of like the gist of the kind of stuff that I like to do. But one thing that I want to say was thank you so much, Blake. Thank you so much, everyone. This was a wonderful panel, getting to talk and speak with everyone and commiserate about the current state of our country. But I think from that place stems a hope, a desire that things will get better. Things have to get better, and we're part of that movement. And I love that, although these times are so difficult and they feel impossible at times, I think what's so encouraging about these moments, what the silver line is that it brings about, it resonates with, there's something in us that kind of gets activated. And, looking for the helpers, looking for the people in these moments who are like, I'm not going to let this shit slide anymore, and being able to move an entire zeitgeist of people, I think that's what it means to be American,
We're lifting the truck of America, off our baby America.
Yeah,
right?
we have adrenaline, and we're just
exactly
lifting everything we can. And
spiritual patriotic adrenaline.
You were going like Mom in Danger. I'm going Arnold Schwarzenegger because
I was totally thinking like Mom in the Target parking lot, like
the American flag.
No, I'm indicting myself. That's where my mind went, was to like some muscle-bound action hero, and you guys are being all like virtue signaling.
Yeah, I'm like 70s Incredible Hulk.
No, I did say Target. I said Target parking lot. We're supposed to be boycotting that. So
I just assumed you were talking about the action. The Superman cover, just lifting.
Yeah. Except it's an ice
sold
truck.
for $15 million. That cover is sold for a 9.0.
I would have put in $1 for that.
Or is it Action Comics? Whichever
Action.
one. The one where he's lifting up the car.
Action, yeah.
9.0. 50, and it was Nicolas Cage's. Or it used to be.
Oh.
Not anymore. 15 million. That thing had a 10-cent price tag on it. Insane. Also just insane to have something that old that was still a 9.0. Like, that's just gnarly.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just wanted to leave everyone with the
reminder. Dude. I'm so
sorry. No, you're good. You're good. I know we were talking about like bodybuilding and like lifting, and now it's I have never stepped in the gym in my life. I have, but that's not my forte. But I wanted to leave everyone with a reminder that change happens in these moments on this panel. It starts in the minutia of what it means to be human. And I think that's the most beautiful aspect of humanity is, hoping and trying, even those odds seem insurmountable. And that's how real change happens. It's when we stand up and we don't shut up. I think that's important.
Fuck yeah, dude. Don't shut up.
Well said.
Hey. I say amen a lot, and I'm always like, I'm not religious, but it's like, it's that old, I was raised that way,
You
raised that way. That's the worst thing that I do after saying I was raised that way, because I've heard that excuse used for a lot of bullshit. Anyway, Ricardo, that was awesome, dude. You're awesome. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what you do in this anthology, but also I'm excited to see your journey as a writer and as a budding content creator. It's exciting.
Thank you so much I appreciate it. And also this podcast. I love, now that I know it's on Wednesdays every single week, I can check it out. But I also wanted to say, sorry, I totally forgot because this is a horror panel, that I'm working on a cosmic psychological horror comic as well. It's a sort of like 6-issue comic, just starting on the script literally, as of like a couple days ago. But I'm super, super inspired by The Thing 1982 and sort of like the hubris of people from like Jurassic Park, and so kind of integrating that into sort of like a it's all like a nautical kind of horror. So I'm really, really excited to write about that as well, and kind of humanity journeying to the bottom of the ocean to find out what's there and not liking it. So I'm very, very excited about that. So look out for that in the future, everybody.
Oh yeah. Now is it your plan to be like, as you know, it's hard to make a TikTok video of like, I could film myself writing in a notebook, right? And it's you can't.
Oh my god!
You could B-roll that. You could B-roll the fuck out of shit like that, right? But there's a way, like the stuff you're into, the stuff you're reading, horror movies, and like the media you're consuming that gets you in the vibe, or similar vibed media. I'm working on this thing that reminds me of this sometimes. Like there's something you can play with there, and like slide your way into like book talk or movie talk or something, right? And not as like don't become that, but as some like side traction to like some like spillage, right, where you get like a few extra clicks because you're talking about a book but you're segueing into your own projects and shit. That I've been playing with stuff like that for some of our clients. We're doing content coaching, so that was free. I charge people money for that. You can have that for free.
It's like Pinterest boards. It's like slideshows. It's like yeah, it's hard because as a writer, like as an artist, I think it's easier to sort of like promote your work because you can show people a picture or something that you've drawn and they're like, hey, that's sick, and then people can go on. But nobody wants to see someone sitting at their desk or like pacing at their room trying to like write and figure stuff out. Like it's not very visually stimulating. So that is kind of like the crux of being a sole writer on social media, is trying to figure out how to promote yourself and market stuff.
Yeah, it's different, but you like I said, you can play around with stuff, and I mean, it's just the stuff we're talking about now is just silly. I mean, we're talking about like it's something as easy as like filming yourself like walking into comic book shops. So, I mean, the little stupid shit that you don't think about. But if you're authentic and you're passionate and you're being Ricardo, right, and you're just like you're putting that out, like people they dig it. It's very odd, and I like you guys got a couple more weeks left to party on this campaign. Like think about that in your marketing, vulnerability and authenticity, and just talking about like what scares you and why you did this is. I mean, I hate talking about marketing. I love it. But like in this instance, it's like dirty, like, like, because it's, you said it, it's like, we know we need to fund this campaign, but the campaign's not about money, right? But anyway, but I encourage you guys to think about that. Cause just listening to y'all talk, I get those vibes, and you're passionate. And when you get rolling on stuff you're passionate about, it's fun to listen to you. So I would encourage you to think about that, filming, like for shorts or whatever kind of social media platform. I know it sucks and it's not fun, but it's
updates, JM.
All right, we lost Sean. I apologize. I don't know if it's technical difficulties or if he just got tired. But I would like to talk to him. Like his story was so fascinating.
Champion, he went 2.5 hours, dude.
He did, yeah. We've been cruising. All right, so let's see, Jonathan. Where do we follow you? Keep track of you? Good, all that good stuff.
So my website is jonathanlamantia.com. It's just my name without the spaces, and I'm sorry, it's very long and there's a lot of letters. But that's where you can find me. Sorry, my iPad just told me I've got 10% left, so I don't know if I might suddenly shut off too. Sky Haven is the book that I mentioned earlier. That's coming out on the 26th. Nice. If you find me on social media, I've been posting about that, and I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited about this, the Horror Not Hate. I don't do a lot of comic covers, so this was really something to get invited to, and a real honor. It's a weird cover. So it's a
great cover, dude. It's
thank
so
you.
I like
Thank
it.
you.
And when you showed
the
original art, like no wonder that's cool, dude.
It's one of those things, like the kind of art that I like doing. It's it's not for everyone. I respect that. Being able to get to do what my mode is for a book like this is really something. So I'm really thankful for that opportunity. And I mean, it's been such an incredibly stressful time, but over the last year, getting to work on both of those things at the same time. I mean, my contribution to Horror Not Hate really didn't last that long. Like I worked on my part, and now it's just marketing on my end. So, anything that I'm able to do to get more than $1 is good, but it is really just leaving people with a sense of hope about any of what's happening right now. And like what everybody is talking about, it's all important. Everything that they're dealing with is important. So the fact that you've got over 100 people working on a book that's like this is fantastic, and then they're going to go on to do other projects. And yeah,
we didn't even mention that, like just the wonderful thing about anthologies is like the new voices that get a shot, that get you get and you're getting like a real, like you're in a heated, powerful storytelling moment, right? Like you're getting to really like to shoot an incredible shot. This is bad, but like, you know what I'm saying? It's just fuck. It's good for new voices, and we didn't even mention that, like the whole episode, and that's I love anthologies for that, and it's there so many people got like great starts, like just Jared, a friend of the show, Jared Lujan, like did tons of anthology work, and then won the Mad Cave Award, and then did a lot of independent stuff, and now he's doing like prose, and I think he's working on like video game stuff now. Anyway, it's just like it can really open doors, and if it doesn't necessarily open a door when you're struggling, or like, can I do this, or am I like, is this worth it? You fucking see something with your name on it printed. You like when that happens, that really changes your, like that gives you like another year of trying and sending query letters or something, like it, like
it's a reverse hot dog. It adds time to the end of your life.
Hot dog.
That's a horrible. That's the body horror right there. That's
the reverse hot dog.
Yeah, what happens when you turn a hot dog inside out, huh?
You still eat it. I don't know. I would eat it inside out hot dog. I feel like it would get crispier. You like anyway in a skillet.
Oh no.
All right, finally, last but not least, the ringleader, who, by the way, I kind of want to start calling you Jam, because everyone calls you JM, and if you listen when they say JM, it sounds like Jam, and it's like and you're a fucking rock and roll Jam, sir, and I've loved you for a while now, and I love you more. But long story short, I can't, I suck at that. I suck at doing a short anything. Fuck.
I'm here for a long time, not for a good time, Blake.
I didn't mean that. Where?
Reverse.
Oh, goodness. Where do we find you on the socials?
Oh, on the socials. I was gonna say like at the foot of your bed, but Um,
You guys
at,
want us to
hot
leave you
dog.
alone? We can.
yeah, no. So you can find updates about just this project and the projects of our different contributors at Slow Feet Comics on Instagram. If you're a little bit more curious, if you're JM curious, then you can follow me at j.m.brandt on Instagram. It's a lot of self-promotion right now because we only have 2 weeks left to get $10,000 worth of funding. So
We'll get it.
please, please. But you know,
Wow.
I'm gonna have other projects. We kind of let it slip that my next book is probably going to be a Giallo miniseries that'll most
Nice.
likely go to crowdfunding. So you know, look for cool stuff in the future, and follow everybody that's involved with the book. I mean, you know, I
Yeah.
really wanted to do a mix of newcomers, established talent, and wish list people that have nothing to do with comics. Like Jonathan was a wish list artist for me. So follow everybody, find new people to admire, find new people to follow, find new people to geek out about.
I love everything about that, and I cannot agree more. Use that link in the show notes to check out this campaign page. The art looks great, the covers are amazing, the logo's amazing, the project's amazing, the cause is amazing. It's all amazing, okay? And it's worth way more than a fucking dollar. You put $1 on Barry, you're real mad. You get real mad. Everybody who hung out for almost 3 hours, thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
If you stop
Thank you.
by, I
Appreciate
can't agree. Like, follow these people, right? It's indie comics is so hard. Follow them, share their posts, heart them, leave a comment. It's not hard to leave a comment and leave like a nice one. Don't be a shitheel about it. Be like, cool art. You know, anyway, even if you don't like it, lie. Everybody's lying these days. It's hip. It's hip to lie. Anyway, no, don't lie. Be honest. Be your true self and explore being vulnerable and empathetic because it's not a weakness. Thank you again, everybody, for tuning in. Love more, hate less, read books, support indie comics.
Woo!
Guys, thank you so much. Before we leave, one last thing. Any future endeavors, future Kickstarter projects, you hit me up because I had fun talking to all of you and I'll do it again.
Awesome.
All
Thank you so
right.
much, Blake.
That's
Good
awesome.
night, everybody.
Good night,
In
y'all.
the stream.